Flame on! How's everybody doing tonight? I'm here with my special guest, Nick Lenz. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
And man, this chapter,
I was
this
noticing for you notice basically where Kishimoto and the artist like their last names or their names are so similarly spelled. Did you notice that?
I had noticed that. I noticed that.
Where like the last like four letters are the same in both names.
But man,
It could be a translation issue or it's done on purpose.
I'm pretty sure this is on purpose. This has to be on purpose. But but man, this I really don't want to spoil this chapter. You want to do the breakdown, or you just want to get right into it?
Let's get right into it. Well, first we have this wonderful cover image of the current Team 10. In their post-time skip attire, we have Cho Cho as a punk. We have Inojin, basically looks like he wears a hoodie, shorts, and looks like almost sneakers with open toe shoes because Kishimoto loves toes. And of course, Shikadai wearing long sleeves. His father did wear long sleeves before the war happened. And look, because you see on the cover, if you can see it, he's got sleeves.
Okay.
And of course, like his father, he wears a headband on his sleeve. Because of course he does.
Definitely a unique design all around.
Yeah. I don't know if basically his grandfather did that because we never saw Shikamaru's father with a headband on. Not that I saw.
We did not. We wait. Shikamaru always had his headband on his arm.
Yes.
Shikamaru's father. What was his name? Not Shikadai. Shikaku. No, not Shikaku. What was his name?
Yeah, all I know is that he looks exactly like Shikamaru, except he's got scars across his face. And if you see him both pre and post time skip the original series, you never saw one headband on. The only adults that with headbands were the senseis.
Oh, Shikaku. Shikaku, that's his name. Shikaku. I knew it was.
Yeah. You never saw a headband on. I think Choji's dad. I think Choji's dad wore a headband.
Choji's dad wore it. Inunaka. Inoji. Not Inoji. Sorry, I can't. I'm having a total mind block tonight. Ino's dad. Thank you. Ino's dad. He had his headband. I believe he had his headband the normal way. Choji's father always wore his on his belt or abdomen. Shikaku. Shikaku. Yeah, he was Jonin status, but we never saw his headband.
I always find that weird.
But nitpick aside, this chapter takes place right where we end off. Jura and Hidari confront Himawari, and
it's like I remember reading last check. I was reading this yesterday. I'm like, did we skip a scene? Like, they didn't come close to these people last chapter. Yet here they're here. It's like, did we miss something?
I think they were going for thematics, like they were converging on Himawari and Team 10, and then we cut right now to this new chapter where they're directly confronting them. This will probably be fixed in the anime, but I definitely see this. But the pacing is a flaw in this chapter. I will give you that.
Yes. And of course you have, looks like Inojin. I can tell because the strap, it's Inojin because he's the one saying, even though I can't tell by the hair, but the belt strap, it's clearly him. Because Shikadai is to Himawari's left, and Inojin is right in front of her. And he's like telling her to back up. It's like, and of course, basically, Shikamaru basically notices basically stuff happening. And then one brings a book out of his chest. He's like, aren't you? That's right. Now Shikadai is more of Kazuma Kuri's Mogi's team, 10, and the current Hokage's son. Like, I'm glad the fact the way this is done is like he's not pulling this out of nowhere. He has a book with him to say this. Like, is the outfit he wearing like similar to that jutsu that Tsukasa used to have with his eye, that transportation jutsu? That or something. It just feels like a pocket image he pulls out. I mean, people want to say, he just pulls out of his Zoran. No, he pulls out of his chest.
Okay.
I mean, you saw this like, what?
It definitely comes out of nowhere. It would not be the first time something like this came out of nowhere. But needless to say, so while that's happening, Boruto's getting intel from Kaji and Koji what's going on, so he circles back to the village. Kaoki tries to sneak him. Like, I know they're going long term with this, but this isn't even a fight. Like this isn't a fight. This isn't a skirmish. He pulled a Goku versus Golden Frieza. The Kaoki was not flat in his ass.
Yeah, and also they're also asking about Nine Tails. Now the thing is, I think as far as I can tell, I don't think it was made public knowledge that Kurama's gone.
But technically, he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. I'm sure that Himawari probably knows he's gone. But they're like, Ninetales. What's Ninetales going to do for Himawari? I don't know either. Truly, this world keeps raising one question after another. And yet I like it. And then Himawari goes nuts. Oh, and also I just noticed, basically, is he put on a Renegon. You know, little swirl eye thing.
Yeah, I know. Yep, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. As far as I can tell, like, not many people in the franchise has ever done this. Sasuke has done it.
Madara, Obito,
Pain. The one who
yes, Nagato through the pains. Yes.
Yes. They all had like the eye thing.
Yep.
Yeah, and then of course Himawari gets chopped in a tree, but lucky enough that Shikada comes in, use Chao Baras's jutsu to get out of the tree. I'm like, wow, that was quick. I guess they realized though, yeah, gotta protect Himawari, the daughter of the previous Hokage. And you have of course you have Inojin doing the Mikuri. Did you notice basically Inojin's hair looks different?
I had noticed that. I have noticed that.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. At least everyone else's hair looks pretty much the same, but his hair, I'm like, did he change his hairstyle post time skip?
I guess it makes a unique design. So good either way.
Yep. But in my opinion, I still prefer his anime look over his manga look.
That's fair. That's fair.
Same thing with Sadara. Her anime look is a lot better than their manga look.
Yeah, let's not.
I'm not talking about her look she had for the Meiji Bandits arc for the chapter. I'm not going to say what she was wearing, but you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about, but please stop.
Okay, moving on. So they fight. They're like, huh. He commends the teamwork. And then, of course, Himawari's like, why are they after me? And EOJ wakes up, and then we explain what you had mentioned. And somehow that he knows about the formation, the Ino Cho. I'm like, did you take this book from the Konoha library? Or that somehow some village you basically went to have some information about this group? Because
I feel like the anime is going to go into more detail about it, but Jura's been collecting knowledge off screen since he's been formed. Because you remember this Ten Tails conglomerate was formed in chapter 2 or 3, if I remember. So in the span of 5 chapters, he gathered multiple books and scholars of knowledge across the world, recognizes Ina Chikacho as a combat trio or team dynamic.
But somehow he knows who
Naruto is.
And Shikadai. The fact he's also some of they say current Hokage, even though he's an interim Hokage.
He is interim. Yes.
It's like basically it's like I don't think it's a writer who forget the fact about that. I think it's a character who doesn't know that.
Yeah, this is a rare situation where we know more about the setting and world than the character does. And this is the only time I'm really gonna say it, but this played into the Momoshiki arc, especially the movie version, perfectly, where Boruto was a brat, he came from a place of ignorance. But at the same time, he's a 12-year-old kid with a workaholic parent who works hours on end and barely has enough stamina and strength to give his family the time of day. Now, granted,
any person in real life would understand that.
Yeah. Now, is Boruto being an asshole about it? Yes. Defaming the Hokage statues, doing some dishonorable acts like cheating with the ninja tool? Yeah. But at the same time, this is the angst and stubbornness of a 12-year-old boy. He's going to act his age.
And then we see, before that Kawaki fight with Boruto, Delta wakes him up for being knocked out by Momoshiki Mitsuki last chapter. I'm like, Delta wakes him up.
Yep.
Of all people, it's Delta.
Because she's swooned by Ada and her charm ability, and she's just trying to preserve Kawaki's safety as much as possible. Even though I'm sorry, I just can't take it seriously. I mean, we're building all this hype for Kawaki in the flash forward, and he in their first altercation post time skip, he gets one punched across 3, if not 4 buildings.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I know this is long-term story building, but still.
I just love seeing Jigen again. This is probably the first thing he's been seeing since the end of the Car arc.
Oh yeah, he did get a cameo. I believe was it on page 15 or page 20? But he did get a cameo in this chapter. 21?
Which is the first time in person he's been seen, even though it's a quick cameo, but he's not been seen since Car basically disbanded.
He has not. He has not.
Like, I'm hoping they explain what the heck he's been up to all this time. I mean, as far as anyone can tell by him, he's a clone of Jiraiya.
Oh, Kajin Koji.
He's Jiraiya. There is no hint of his perviness that Jiraiya had.
The way it was set up, now this could be the anime. I could be misremembering this for the anime. But from what I've read, Kajin Koji is his own person, and he's complete opposite of Jiraiya. Like, he's very stoic, he takes things seriously, he adapts to the situation at hand, and rather than just being dogmatic and dying for the cause or passing his hopes and dreams to Naruto, no, I have to survive this, there's something deeper going on, I'm going to get out of Dodge. Whereas Jiraiya kind of accepted his fate. So, although one's a clone of the other, they have different personalities.
Yeah. And then, I'm just going to call him Punk Kawaki because basically he's dressed like a punk.
I feel like that's the overall aesthetic for all the new gen cast with this. But yeah, Kawaki's the biggest punk out of the bunch. I'll give you that.
Because the belt thing. The belt thing symbolizes punk.
It's too much. It's too much.
Yeah. If you think about it, the only characters not punks are Inojin,
Mitsuki,
and Chikadai.
Sumire is kind of formal. Sumire does dress herself very formally. I don't really see much of a punk aesthetic with her.
Sadara kind of, but not really.
Yeah. You could argue leans into it, but not by much. Other than the pixie cut, not much.
Yeah, and I'm like, whose idea was it to basically have all these characters be punks post time skip?
Well, the punks. Well, your guess is as good as mine on that. I can't find.
I highly doubt it was Kishimoto's idea.
No.
Because I highly doubt he probably was asked. He probably approved of this, but it probably was not his idea.
No, definitely not his idea. Not his play style at all.
Because he does not do punks. But I'm sure he probably approves of open toe shoes. Because the man basically loves drawing toes. He has admitted that.
Yeah,
and that's something adult. That's something he has said in interviews.
Yeah, I can confirm that. Despite my temptation to drop the late night banner, I can confirm Kishimoto has said that in an interview.
And the fact his favorite character to draw was 1010. Despite the fact she didn't appear very much in canon stuff. I think she's described by him as the easiest character to draw.
Very plain. Nothing wrong with that. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but her and Rock Lee have a similar gimmick where they're relatively inspired by other countries or other country archetypes.
In the case of 1010, it's China.
Okay. In the case of Rock Lee, it was Bruce Lee. Okay.
Yes. He also think China because of her buns and her attire is all Chinese.
Okay.
Neji is Japanese. 100%.
Obviously. But
in the case of something like Naruto, yes, he's an obvious take on Goku. But I would say partially he's based upon US.
Partially. Very slightly. Very
the blue eyes and the blonde hair. That's obviously American stereotype. Sakura, you could say probably American too, but aside from pink hair, which is standard.
Yeah.
But so
back to the chapter.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was noticing here that despite the injury to his eye, Boruto keeps his eye closed. Because he's not the other person in the whole franchise who had the eye sliced up like this.
No.
Kakashi's had it too.
Yes. But he had his eye swapped out with Obito's Sharingan when he thought he was going to die after being crushed by debris in the cave in.
And then
So
Obito took,
he had
the
his
eye
eyeball
back,
replaced.
and now he's got restored eyesight, but he still has a scar.
Yes.
My guess is that maybe not Baruto has not got a replacement eye yet or something.
Now, this could be anime canon. Now, this could strictly be anime canon, but this has just been my personal theory on it. If the Flash Forward is anything to go by, he does have the Jogan from the anime, but he can only channel it in certain circumstances or via the karma. But
Which
the
he
eye,
does show up in the scene here, where it's his eye open. I think it's the way the art looks like it's not the close of the other eye. It turns to almost like a renting, almost like where his eyes like it's like a wheel with a little bit of a like tiny flower in the middle.
the Daiko Kuten, yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah. So his eye turns to that, and then it looks like he brings a bunch of items, and of course, Kawaki brings out his ninja arm that he has, which he
Construct, his
had that.
construct.
Yes, which he had a pre-time skip. So this is not something they made a post-time skip. This is something he had before that. Amando did that to him. Anybody could probably guess that. Well, I think he admitted that he did it to him.
Yes, he admitted that. Now, this is before the Omnipotent, mind you, if you're not following along, if you're just now joining us. But basically, what happened was there was this huge MacGuffin, this special ability that can alter people's perceptions of people. Ada had this ability, among others. So, after Kawaki feels compelled to kill Boruto to prevent the threat of Momoshiki coming forth, kind of a demon nine-tail scenario, he's manhunted by Konoha forces because Kawaki did the unthinkable. They believed he killed Naruto, so they would be able to stay out of Kawaki's way, even though he sealed them in another dimension. And in a moment of distress, and Ada confronting him, he pretty much says all his verbal gripes, kind of contemplating his fate. And in a moment of distress, he accidentally triggers it because of a selfish desire to make Boruto an outsider, so he could basically to make it easier to rid the threat of Momoshiki, while also some lingering resentment and jealousy that someone as privileged as Boruto is so ungrateful and unappreciative and all that. That's basically the events of chapters 79 and 80 of part 1 in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm. Yes, then Bar easily avoids Kawaki. He falls over and says to him, "Pitiful. Have you been training at all? In 2 or 3 years, are you saying he is not trained? I get maybe everyone else trained, but was Kawaki that lazy? He just don't want to train, but yet he looks in shape. Maybe he wasn't training in combat, but I'm sure he probably kept in physical training."
My best guess, he's stagnated because other than Damon, not many people can touch him in the village. And prior to the 10-tail splitting, the biggest threat were Momoshiki ultimately winning control of Boruto's body, and Code, and maybe a few Kara remnants here and there. So other than that, Kawaki was not, if not the top dog, the second top dog in the series. And with Boruto being the brat that he is, or is stigmatized as, he would likely give it to despair, and Momoshiki would take over and then attack the village, and then Kawaki, having more experience with karma, could ultimately defeat him and be the hero, completing his overall objective.
Mm-hmm.
What he didn't account on is that Boruto's his father's son, and he's just as stubborn and resilient, and more importantly, Boruto's the protagonist.
Yes, and after he's like, Delta asks him more like how much you train. I think she's saying it to probably Baruto, and then lines.
Yep.
The karma activates. First it's Kawaki, and then Baruto just automatically activated because it was established.
They resonate.
Yes, despite the fact they're from two different people.
And Boruto flees the scene because he doesn't want to risk Momoshiki taking over. Meaning he's gone 3 whole years despite being manhunted on the run without having to resort to karma once. Or at the very least, he's tried to avoid using it.
Yeah, then we see Inogen taking Himawari by bird. Trying to get away, and of course, Shigeta doing his best to hold down the Ten Tails guy. Then apparently he turns the Shao prostitute into a ball. Chocho basically just grabs the guy with her giant hand.
Classic partial expansion.
Yes, which Choji didn't do a lot of pre-time skip. He did a little more post-time skip. I would say Choji has a lot more of the expansion juice than their father ever did. And then, then an explosion happens. And you see Shikadai on the ground. Chocho is, still standing. And they're still in the air. And then Sadara shows up. Actually, she's running to get them. Inojin, Chochi, and I need a lift. She's like, hold on tight. And then, of course, they pick him up. And, of course, they're all getting away. And, of course, Himura's like, good things, fly out of the village. Like, escape on their own. Hold up. What are you talking about? No way. They won't catch you. Same for you, but too strong. And then the chapter goes in this weird dimension where you have Imara basically like, what's going on? And Shikadai is wondering what the heck is she saying. And then he's like, good grief, I can't believe that jerk 10 Tails would snuff me out. Little girl, you know who I am? And she says, you're 9 Tails, right? A baby Kurama. What the heck? Because you're like, anybody see is like, I thought you died. How the heck are you here?
Okay.
How is it Himawari can see him, but no one else can?
There's a difference between being reborn and being reincarnated. So let's go ahead and establish that right now. Second, we've never really seen a situation other than Naruto where a Jinchuriki can help play a role in consummating or conceiving a child. We've seen Jinchuriki give birth to children, but not from the paternal aspect.
As far as I can tell, I've never heard of any of the last novels they showed this series actually having children. They've had children, like the male ones, they've had children with women.
Yes.
But they themselves having children, like a female having a child while being a host to it, that's never actually happened I could think of. There's only been 2 female.
Kushina still had the 9 Tails in her when she was giving birth for Naruto, or at least when Naruto was conceived. And we have Mikoto, who was the wife of Hashirama.
Yes. But, I would say regular characters, like the ones they had, like the other ones, the other male-tailed creatures, like we had 2 female ones.
Yes.
The two-tailed cat and the Lucky Seven from the Waterfall Village.
Yes, for the 7 Tails. They died young. I don't think they had children.
No. If it's kind of weird, like we gave a whole arc for the 7-tail host. Great arc. Love the arc. And then she gets captured by the Akatsuki and killed.
Yes.
Which seems to have such an abrupt ending to the arc.
Even if it was technically filler, because by the time the Shippuden happens, or at least by the time we get past the Faithful Brothers arc and Jiraiya the Gallant, most of the other Jinchurikis had been captured or had their 10 tails extracted. Gaara survived because Lady Chiyo made the sacrifice play. The 2 tails Jinchuriki was captured. The 3 Yagura, despite being genjutsu'd and mind controlled by Obito, was killed over the course of the time skip. The 4 tails Son Goku, he got his Jinchuriki got a filler arc.
Well, technically, the 3-tailed turtle, by the time they found them, he didn't have a host.
Yes, because... Wait, so was Yagura assassinated, or did they abduct him to extract the 3 tails?
No, he died before that. He was killed by accident by Itachi.
Okay, so Yagura
was the first time he used the black flame.
The Amaterasu, yes.
Yes, the first time he used it, and that's how he killed him. And then I looked up a while ago who voiced him. It's Johnny Bosch. I found that quite interesting because I never knew he was even associated with, the only character, this is only one of 2 characters that voiced his whole series. He also voiced Sorcery of the Red Sand.
Yeah, I recognized him as Sorcery, but I did not recognize his voice as Yagura.
It seems like when he's voicing Sorcery, other characters, he's over the top.
Yes.
Here he's slow, maniacal. I'm like, that does not sound like what Johnny Abashino would do for a character.
I only recognized it because I had seen Johnny Umbach do similar roles, all rare as they are. So I was able to recognize. But Yagura completely threw me off. Different cadence and everything completely threw me off.
And the fact that we also have one of the Kage voiced by Steve Bloom. He voices 3 characters in this franchise: Zabuza, Orochimaru, and Okadai.
Oh, he does voice Inoki.
Which seems weird because Okadai is like age-wise older than the actor.
Yeah, Inoki, even going into Shippuden, Inoki was in his I believe by the time Boruto rolled around, Inoki was over 100 years old.
I'm surprised they can get Bruce Elliott from Funimation to voice this character, because that guy is famous for voicing old men. And apparently so acting when he was like 50. And this is a guy who voiced Makara from Fairy Tail.
Fairy Tail, yes.
He did the Funimation dub for Case Close. He was voice of... They call him Richard Moore in the dub, but his actual name is Kongoro Mori. Funimation has this weird thing for that series where like all the characters except for Conan all had their name changed.
Probably make it easier to pronounce.
Like in the case of like Tagagi, how hard is that pronounced in English? It really isn't. Or Sato, they changed their name in the dub to Michelle.
Your guess is as good as mine on that.
Or here's one. Ran. In the dub, she refers Rachel.
This must have been a really weird time for anime. I'm not going to say it's for kids bad, where the censorship and all the changes were egregious, but this was a weird time.
There was also a movie where Sato apparently died, and they said she died even though she didn't die at all, and that was mentioned in the dub.
Now that I remember that one, that was a mistranslation. That for a fact I remember as a mistranslation.
Mm-hmm. I'll be right back.
But while we're moving on to that, that's where the chapter ends. And yes, as of the Ishiki or the Kara arc, Kurama did sacrifice himself for Baryon Node. Now, could there be some residual chakra left over from Boruto and Himawari genetically, where the Nine Tails could reincarnate in a new form as a new being? Possibly, depending on how far Kishimoto goes with the mythology. But this easily could have just been its own Biju. Now, the argument for Himawari inheriting Biju power, or the very least having a significant amount dormant within her, call back to Kid Gohan and Dragon Ball Z, all of that. I just feel like this should have been a separate Biju in of itself, rather than a Kurama or a baby Kurama lookalike for the sake of nostalgia. I appreciate the sentiment, but I feel like this could have been its own character. Hopefully they try to keep it its own character, despite saying, oh, I'm just a reincarnated Kurama, or this was a loophole to bring me back. And I just feel like that's too jarring. That's too much fan service. I'm not going to say it breaks the story, but it is very contrived. That's as far as I'm going to go on that. But as for the chapter itself, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Largely because of the baby Kurama design for the Biju reveal. That was a little too gimmicky in my opinion. So it only knocks the chapter down a bit. But overall, high action, intensity. The pacing could have been a bit better, but nothing I would have ripped the whole thing asunder over.
I'm back.
So, Nick, what did you think of Kurama's return? Did you think this should have been its own separate Biju, or at the very least a different design?
I didn't mind the design very much at all. I mean, if you want to start small, then go big. Because Kurama, remember, the guy was the size of a skyscraper.
He was.
I would say I don't know who you think was taller, him or Shikaku.
That is close, but I would have to argue Kurama. Kurama's taller than Shikaku.
Isn't it funny though that Shikaku and Kurama, they like argue with each other?
Yeah,
it's like they're rivals.
Bitter rivals, or at the very least, Shikaku feels inferior to Kurama. Like, because the 10 tails are ranged by strength. The more tails you have, the stronger you are. The more, or at the very least, the more chakra you have. And Shikaku being the youngest and arguably weakest of the conglomerate of the tailed beast, he's like the youngest sibling in the family dynamic, and Kurama just pesters him every chance he gets.
And here's something interesting though. Kurama is based upon Japanese mythology.
Yes, he is.
Of course, Son Goku is obviously based upon the monkey form of Goku, and his master and his host Roshi is named after Roshi from Dragon Ball Z.
And
As for
Journey
the
to
other
the West.
ones, I'm not really sure. Like the Slug, I'm
I
not sure
believe
where they got that from.
I believe that one was the Six Tails, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Okay, the Shikaku, Mito for the second tails. I forget the name of the third tail. Son Goku, the Pegasus looking one. That's the fifth. That's the five tails.
I
The
think so. I don't remember who the host was. Do you?
Han, I believe.
Yeah.
Or was that Son? Or was
Not,
that the host for Son Goku?
I think it was Han. There's not much known about the five tail one.
Not much. There's really not much known.
Like here's one. The six tail slug. Like apparently kill his master, but the thing is, I have nothing against basically the actor who portrayed him, but my gosh, his host was boring to watch on screen.
Yeah, he's basically
And
carrying
that's
a
not the fault of the voice actor. I did not fault the voice actor for that.
Oh no. The character himself is just bland.
Yeah,
Very
and the fact that apparently this daughter who was had a power weapon inside of her, she wanted to be a student and she had a thing for him.
It got weird because I understand you want to give the other Jinchuriki some empathy, since in the context of the manga they either had very reduced roles or were abducted off screen. But the Six Tails arc, the Six Tails filler, was the weakest out of the bunch.
Yeah, like let's say Two Tail Cat. We only saw her like one, 2 episodes on screen. She gets captured by Hidan and his partner.
Hidan and Kakuzu.
Yes, and she's actually one of the Cloud Village's 2 jerkies that they was Killer Bee, and like I know Killer Bee was making he was being a pervert toward her when she was in zombie form, and Naruto was like, I get the fact you're a pervert. Do we really need this now? Because he was staring at her in a very pervy way. Naruto realized that, and this time he is somewhat a pervert, but not as much pervert as Jiraiya. But even he realized, though, now is not the time to do that. But it was really point out about the chakras inside their bodies.
Yeah, that's kind of the one thing that irked me. I don't know if this was ever directly confirmed. But either I understand they wanted to utilize the power of the tail, the power of the Jinchuriki. So were they reanimated, or did through Nagato, Obito learn how to infuse chakra rods into their corpses? Because
because none of them had their tail beasts inside of them.
No, but they were able to use abilities of the tail beasts due to residual chakra left in their bodies.
Like if you want to revive one of them, in my opinion, bring back the one who's the Lucky Seven, because I like her character. Like, just bring back her. Roshi, don't need to bring him back at all. Han probably don't need to.
Han was the Jinchuriki of the Five Tails. Roshi was the Jinchuriki of the Four Tails Son Goku. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. It had to come
back.
I
would say the other ones I would bring back, if they are bringing back at all, is Lucky Seven, because she's a great character. I would say maybe do something with Two Tails, because aside from capture, we know nothing about her aside from the fact she's from the Hidden Cloud Village.
Didn't she get she did get a few filler scenes, but that was mostly flashbacks with her pretty much getting annoyed by Killer Bee's antics.
But nothing much with her. Like, I'm not saying resurrect her per se.
No.
Just give her some story.
Maybe an OVA or a spin-off.
Yeah.
We got a little bit during Killer Bee's Infinite Tsukiyomi fantasy, but other than that.
Yeah, Roshi, it seems like he was a logger.
Roshi was
he's from, because it seems like Han, I'm not sure what the heck he did.
Han was kind of a nomad, at least from what I was interpreting. Han was kind of a nomad.
And this is something, though, that of all the Jiriki, only 3 of them became Kage. Of course, Gaara, the one who hosts 3 Tails, and Naruto.
Gaara, Yagura, and Naruto, yes.
Yep, only 3 ever did. Of course, Gaara's still alive, despite the fact he doesn't have the Jiriki anymore. Though, apparently, the animators think that because this is kind of weird for him, they still give him the black circles on his side. The fact that it was a thing early on where if Gar ever went to sleep, Shikaku would eat him.
Basically, Gar, despite being compatible as a Jinchuriki, Gar had no real control of him, and Shikaku would haunt Gar's dreams or his sleep state. And basically, a Dr. Jekyll hit Mr. Hyde, where every time Gar entered REM sleep, Shikaku would take over and go on a rampage.
It kind of reminded me of Venom.
It did, didn't it? In a way.
Yes. I mean, in the case of, and this I thought was really weird. Like, you remember? I think it was during the Three Great Ninja, Fourth Ninja War, where Gaara started Mitsuki, Mizuki. She came back, and she's a cheerleader. Like you first see her during his rescue.
Yes.
And then you see her again through the Ninja War, and she had a whole arc where she got kidnapped, and then Gar asked for help from the elite village to rescue her, and then like nothing. They say she was a student of his, and then they say she was a failed student of his. I thought this was kind of weird.
I feel like the anime was trying to set something up, but I guess while collaborating with Kishimoto with the manga, there was just no room for it, so they abandoned it.
And this happened like toward the end of the original Naruto series, this kidnapping arc.
Yes.
It felt like very much very last minute. I get the fact it was filler.
Yeah,
but at
definitely.
Least the character was canon.
Yes, the character was established. She was a former student of Gaara's. Either Gaara pretty much dismissed her or she wasn't up to snuff. I would have to go back for the arc to actually articulate it.
It seems like she was trying to use nunchucks.
Yes.
Which seems like a strange weapon for this series because if you think about it, aside from her, I can't think of any character who uses nunchucks. I see shuriken, I see swords.
Wait, didn't Lee use nunchucks, at least in his training? Maybe not in his overall fighting style.
But never in combat. Lee preferred to use his hands than using weapons. That was more Tenten's thing.
Yeah, but you just never really saw that. The most you saw were shuriken, ninja tools, constructs, jutsu, or
the swords were a common thing because Sasuke has a sword.
The samurai had swords. Zabuza, the seven deadly swords.
Sai had a sword.
Yes.
So is his son.
Wait, yeah, Inujin does have a sword.
Yeah, I can't think of many air characters who have a sword. You might think, what about Jiraiya? Does he carry a sword? Not really. He does not carry a sword. I never remember ever carrying a sword.
No, Jiraiya never used a sword. At least not from
outside. The guy was in his 50s, but like, you remember that one scene where you show off that wound? Like, damn, this man's ripped.
Like, he took pretty care of himself. He literally tanked a rampage. Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off, Nick.
Yeah.
But he took on a rampaging Naruto in Three Tails cloak and lived at 55 years old.
And it's one of the 2 times he was seriously hurt. The other time was when Snotty punched him for pee-pee.
Punched him so bad she nearly shattered his rib cage.
Yes. And of course, you remember the camera react to her is like, really? You remember that?
You almost killed me. Of course I'm going to remember that.
I'm surprised she didn't smile at that or something. Of course, before Jiraiya died, Jiraiya did tell her that he did admit his feelings for her for the longest time, but she was more interested in Dan than him.
Obviously, and we don't really get too much set up to why she chose Dan. It's just something. It was supposed to be very parallel to how Naruto had a crush on Sakura, but Sakura was never going to feel the same way.
Then Dan just dies. And I think first her brother dies, and Dan dies.
Yes, her brother Tanoki, I believe his name was Tanoki. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But Tanoki gets killed via land bombing when he steps on a paper bomb. And Dan is severely injured, and despite Tsunade trying to heal him, he ultimately succumbs to his wounds.
And then she basically takes up his dream becoming Hokage, despite that she had no desire to do it.
No, she developed a phobia of blood, ended up in a pseudo-exile, effectively retiring from the shinobi life for 15 years. Or was it 20?
I think so. And
Yeah,
so she basically picked up Suzune as a student, despite the fact it was also revealed that Dan was actually her uncle.
yep.
So in a way, she was taking lessons from her aunt.
Yeah,
Even though
because
that Sonati and Dan never officially married, there was no mention these two ever got married in the series.
no, but there was some love there, and I did used to back. This was back during forums and when the show was coming up. But there was a fan theory that Tsunade could be Naruto's grandmother, or at the very least Minato's mom. But we don't know nothing about the Namikaze. There's nothing saying Dan's clan name was Namikaze. There was no official source stating that. There are similar designs, but there's a resemblance there. But I never found anything official.
And here's the weird thing about Suzune, like, can you think of any development they gave this character over the course of the entire series, aside from her being yelled at by Tsunade for one episode for basically chatting behind her back to the elders? Aside from that, there's nothing.
And even if that fan theory was true, you'd think Shizune would recognize her second cousin.
Or at very least, give her a boyfriend. Which is no mention of having a boyfriend in this series at all. I didn't know how old Suzune even is because she first shows up with Tsunade
during the exile. So I know Shizune is 36 over the course of part 1. And Shippuden, she's about 39, if not right at 40, depending if her birthday had passed in the war.
So, I would say she's probably pushing 50.
Yeah, she's definitely pushing 50
years.
Yeah,
I do have a theory of why she introduced the same time as Tsunade. I think Kishibe was borrowing a page from Toriyama.
Mm.
You know, in Dragon Ball, where every arc he introduced like multiple characters at the same time.
Yep.
I got the idea from Toriyama. Which, come think of, can you think of any other series that ever did that where they introduced a brand new story where you introduce two characters at the same exact time?
Or at the very least, debuting characters as a pair or a set. One Piece did it a couple times. Naruto's definitely done it.
Bleach technically never really did it.
Bleach never really did it. No, they've had ensembles.
They just group people, but never pairs.
Never pairs. Yeah, but they have done groups or ensembles, but they never debuted pairs.
My Hero's never done it.
My Hero's never done it. Black Clover, I believe, did it once, if I remember correctly.
Which I still think the anime should come back soon.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, it's been 2 years. You would think there's plenty of chapters with that for a full season.
Yeah, but if I remember correctly, Black Clover shared the same Studio Pierrot as our animation studio, correct?
As Bleach. Bleach, Black Clover, and Boruto had the same studio.
And Studio Pierrot is prioritizing Bleach because they want to fully adapt the 1,000-Year Blood War, and they made a trilogy out of it.
Yes. So, no, I heard there's going to be 4 cores.
Oh, I thought it was. Oh,
I heard it was 4 cores, about 13 episodes apiece, and they've only released 2 cores so far. I heard something that possibly this month, I think it was, they were going to release core 3, but I've not seen anything released. Either that or it's been delayed to like July. Something.
Yeah, more likely core 3 is going to get delayed.
I'm not sure. Like, what it seems like it's this one taking longer for core 3. Now, you can partially blame it. I'm not blaming this delay on Viz Media. You know, Viz Media got a lot of flack for Bleach recently.
Oh, definitely.
I'm blaming this on Studio Pierrot for this.
Yeah.
But I would think that when they're not working on Bleach, maybe they can squeeze some episodes of Black Clover. Like, yeah, because if you think about when the anime ended, the arc wasn't finished.
That is true.
At least it's one of those rare occasions you ended the anime and it was a canon episode, not an anime original bullcrap.
And speaking of anime originals, if we ever do get a Two Blue Vortex adaptation in 2027 or 2028, depending on when Core 4 comes out, I don't think we're going to get the Code or Omnipotence arc. I feel like that's going to be set up as flashback. I do not, because that's going to, even if you can only get 5 episodes out of it, 1, you're only going to get 5 episodes out of it at most, and 2, it's a wasted arc.
If I would bring the Boruto series back, I would bring up just for a very brief period of time, because when the series ended, it was episode 293. I would bring it back for like a 7-up miniseries and have the 7-episode, being the
Code arc.
Well, not a Code arc. Because because Japanese does not take the big Jupiter number very seriously like here in the US does. Like, live action TV shows, anything reach 100 episodes, they celebrate it. Cartoons, same thing. But over there, they don't. Not really per se. They did do a celebration for 1,000 chapters of One Piece. That was about 2 years ago, I think it was. Chapter 1,000 came out.
Yep, I believe that was the case.
Yes, I think that Japan should do that more. Celebrate like a series has 100 chapters. That's awesome. Celebrate it. Or 100 episodes. Celebrate.
Or if they did do milestones, they were strictly in the Shonen Jump magazine themselves, not in the chapter release.
I'm sure the anime, because the anime they never, as far as I can tell, never do a big celebration for. I know One Piece did for 1,000 episodes, but not for like episode 100 or 500, for example. Yeah, never did for any of those numbers.
So if you were going to do a 300 episode milestone, to basically wrap up part 1 and have it be a prelude to Two Blue Vortex, trying to drag the Code or Omnipotence arc into 7 episodes, that's going to be hard to do because it's one big fight scene and a little bit of a cooldown, and then Kawaki seals Naruto and Hinata away.
I would suggest before they do that, adapt their light novels first, because there are several light novels that need to be finished. Because think about it, for this whole series, they technically adapted 4. Parent-Child A, Steam Ninja Scrolls, the Sasuke one.
Sasuke Resident, and the prologue scene of Kakashi Resident.
Yes. There are other books that can adapt, like this one for Shikamaru. You can use it as a flashback before Mitsuki's appearance.
Yep.
There's the one we had recently with Sasuke for the anime. That was like the second one they released for this. Time they had one for the previous trilogy, where it was basically him going on a mission with Naruto, with Boruto and Team 7.
I believe that was Sasuke Shinden, if I remember correctly.
I think so, because it was part of the same series with Steam Ninja Scrolls, which it's weird that one has not been released here, but yet the manga has.
Yeah, because all it really is just Konohamaru gets injured, Sasuke takes over Team 7 for a couple of days. They end up having to interact with this pop star turned criminal because she's doing some shady brokerage, or she gets blackmailed into it. And although Boruto doesn't fawn over her, Himawari is a big fan of this idol. I definitely see why this novel didn't get adapted, because that basically what I just described is very similar to the Chocho filler arc, and I'm just like, you really want to go?
I would say also this is similar to the very first Naruto movie.
Yeah, where they had to basically, but wasn't that a feudal lord's son? Where the kid was a complete brat? The Land of Snow.
That was third. The Land of Snow was a woman.
Okay.
Who was a few years older? Who's actually several years older than Naruto? Who ended up saving her country from her uncle, her evil uncle.
Why not Boruto filler where they allow Boruto to train during the time skip?
I think they would do it for the manga first, or something like that.
Yeah.
Of course, people have also been clamoring for Gaara to be adapted, his light novel, Sakura's. There are light novels people are clamoring to be adapted for the anime, either for Shippuden or this one.
Now, some elements of the Akatsuki Resident, or the Akatsuki post Shippuden novel, where it's basically just an anthology series about the Akatsuki's origins. Some of that was included in the Naruto games, in the Naruto Storm games, as an OVA, or at least elements of what would come from that novel. Mm-hmm. Then you have Naruto the Last. Then you have elements of Sasuke's post-Resident novel, where he's on his redemption quest or his pseudo exile.
Which that book did address basically, which I thought was really good for the anime to keep the scene in here, of Sasuke talking to Raikage. The Raikage over the loss of his hand. Ask him, does he blame him for the loss of his hand? And he says, no. I'm kind of glad that was addressed, because I'm sure people may have been curious, like, what did they recover conversation with each other about the hand? Well, the anime answered that question. And also there was a scene they skipped over where, because remember in the anime where did you have just those zombies attacking the village, and then all of a sudden here's Hinata come completely out of nowhere, helping out.
That's explained in the novel. That's
yeah. They cut it out from the end for some reason where it was Ino who contacted her.
Yes, and the reason she collapses afterwards is because it's insinuated she was pregnant with what would become Boruto at the time of that arc.
Yes, and for the Sasuke Shikamaru, you probably watch like, oh, I guess Naruto's only appearance was that cameo we saw in the first episode. No, it was actually a lot more of him in the book, and they cut it out.
Yep. And the one with the Madara believers and this rogue nation, that one did get adapted, but it was only a couple episodes long. It was like a mini arc, basically.
Yeah, and I remember, like, you know how basically when they had Tamari and the rest of Team 10 show up with, of course, Sai is there too. Yep. You know, in the anime they have Tamari come in, and then just right behind her is Choji and Ino.
Yes.
In the book, Tamari came first, and then not immediately afterwards, like it was shown in the anime, like I would say within like 5-10 minutes afterwards, then they showed up. There was actually space of time. They trimmed that down in the anime.
I think they did that for levity because Shikamaru and Tamari do not officially get together in that novel.
I think he asks her out.
He asks her out in that novel, but they do not officially get together.
Yeah, I think it was in this is so fun. I think it was in the soccer one of them, where Sakura tells Ino, go ask Sai on a date, and basically takes him to the cafeteria of the hospital she works at. Because in the episode, this is actually anime original. I don't think it happened in the book where Sai asked Ino on a date.
Yeah, and this is not played up as a joke like it was in early Shippuden, where Sakura pretty much gets flustered and pretty much rages out in the restaurant. Because she's expecting Sai to say something insulting, but Sai calls Ino beautiful, much to Sakura.
Which has Ino fall madly in love with him and basically just gives up on Sasuke immediately. That's what it seems like anyways.
Maybe the scene was different in the manga, but at least that's what the anime conveyed. But
yeah, there's some arcs I kind of feel this were cut short in the main Shippuden because of they had to do it like the Guardian 12. Like I mentioned in their video, where that like the first half was really good, and that last half was rushed. Like it felt like you watched it felt like it was rushed. They had to get it concluded quickly because Hedon's arc was coming up next.
Yeah, and although there is some manga original aspects to that arc, Kishimoto gave a basic blueprint similar to what Toriyama, and rest in peace, and Toritaro would do for Toei in the manga and Toritaro respectively. But again, he didn't really include a whole lot. The main fight scenes and basically Asuma's backstory with the Fire Temple Guardian. He has a falling out with Hiruzen. He gets transferred over to the Fire Temple Guardian to teach him discipline. He stays there about 10 years or close to 10 years, and then he and Hiruzen make up off screen before the beginning of the series.
Yes, and it was established like in the flashback, especially like before present day, that him and Kunai had a thing for each other.
Kunai or Kuranai?
Kuranai. And not a sensei.
Yeah, like, because that was obvious.
Things for each other for the longest time, and it was a joke. These two were on a date with each other. Like they even Naruto joke about this with Tamari and Shikamaru, and they're like, "Nope," because Tamari was just an ambassador to the village, just visiting from the Hidden Sand. But in the case of, because I remember in the case of Ashima and Korona, it was Kakashi who pointed this out, that these two were on a date.
Yep. Even though they were secret lovers for years and just about everybody knew about it. Just get married at this point.
It's weird these two never got married.
I get it. They were from the previous generation amidst not only the Third Great Ninja War, but roughly a decade plus Cold War afterward. So there was a lot of low life expectancy and you didn't want to rush anything. But don't try to play it off, like you're trying to be professional, but you're secret lovers. Just about everybody in command knows. So unless there's a particular dispute between the Saratobi clan and Kuranai's family, go to the feudal lord or get Hiruzen's permission if you're that concerned about it, and just tie the knot already.
I'm sure Hiruzen, I'm pretty sure he had no issue with this relationship at all.
No.
Especially since this happened after he passed away. I'm sure he would have been very happy at the fact he was getting their grandchild.
Yes, I do. At least now, Hiruzen was a lot of things. A flawed political leader, a little pervy, definitely let Danzo off on too short of a leash. But say what you will about Hiruzen's administrations. Say what you will about that, but he was a decent dad, all things considered.
And of course, I think he did spoil. I think he did spoil Konohamaru.
Oh, definitely. He definitely spoke on armor. Now, as for Naruto himself, again, he was following protocol to keep Naruto safe. And despite Naruto being the literal young lord and son of a fallen Hokage, Minato was the hero of the Third Ninja War and the son of the hero of the Ninja War, a current Jinchuriki, and the child of a Jinchuriki. And he was directly taking assets directly from the village's funding to give Naruto some kind of pension and enough to keep up the rent there. Now, granted, Hiruzen could have officially adopted Naruto and given Konohamaru a brother figure, but that would have been an egregious overstep from a professional standpoint.
And plus, he's from what I can tell, anyways, was shown in flashback in the anime. He recommended Minato be Hokage.
He did. He directly recommended. And I believe the other candidates were Orochimaru and Fukaku.
Yes. And I think it was the feudal lord who mentioned, oh, your student's student.
Yes.
And I love basically Kakashi's interactions with Jiraiya. I mean, despite the perviness these two occasionally might have, but these two always had great chemistry with each other.
I agree.
Because Kakashi was a student of Minato, and then, of course, Minato was a student of Jiraiya. And, of course, Naruto being Minato's son.
It's kind of like the Jedi and their Padawans in a way. It's a similar dynamic.
Yeah, it shows the fact that Kakashi, despite the fact not like some older stuff, he has a lot of respect for his fellow ninja. And they respect for him because he was the copy ninja.
Now, and back to my previous tangent, just right quick. Hiruzen, as Hokage, you can only do so much without considering overstepping your boundaries. There's only so much you can do. Granted, Hiruzen probably could have done a lot more per se, but you gotta understand, he was already 60 years old. He was at the tail end of his physical prime. Then he gets dragged into a second administration after the Nine Tails attack. Then he has to deal with the fallout from the failed coup of the Uchiha clan, restructure military assets, all the while babysitting a war orphan who is a young noble and would be severely targeted. And on top of that is the village Jinchuriki.
Yeah, and apparently I think it was suspected he may have known about, because he did confirm this in the anime, that he did know about the attempted coup d'etat that the Uchiha was planning. He knew it because he actually was asked by Sasuke, did he know about it? And he said yes, he knew all along they were planning coup d'etat. And the only reason why Sasuke was immune from being prosecuted was because of the range between Hidan and Itachi, that he be immune. That he be just abstained because he had nothing to do with the coup d'etat at all. He may be Uchiha, but he had nothing to do with it.
Sasuke was a 7-year-old boy.
Yes, and because basically that Itachi, before leaving, he asked Hidan to watch over him. He agreed to it. The fact he also picked for prosecution because he's only a survivor. That's the reason why he didn't. And of course, it was shown in the anime that Hidan recommended he join the Akatsuki. I thought that was kind of weird. Yeah, he recommended it.
Not to mention, he literally used the Tsukiyomi and threatened Danzo, if you target my brother in any way, I will expose both yours and his and the Konoha as a whole's political secrets. I do not care. You will not target Sasuke in any way. Itachi took the fall in exchange that his brother be spared, and he was willing to take that to his grave.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that he was becoming a hero for ending the reincarnation jutsu.
Wait, was that considered public knowledge, or?
Yes, that was considered public knowledge. Like he was redeemed for that, but not redeemed for killing the Uchiha clan. Which I'm surprised that this is something, though, because basically it was established a filler arc that somebody was robbing graves, and this kind of was one of the lead-ins to Third Ninja War.
Yes, I believe that.
We didn't hear anything about the Uchiha clan, like their graves being robbed. Probably because basically Hidden League probably has their tomb under head protection.
Yes, they do take precautions.
And it's a kind of weird, though. Like, I think that Hidan told Danzo, tell people, do not do any raiding of these empty homes. Because by the time the Chica Massacre happened, after all happened, as far as I can tell, everything was still there.
Yes.
Like, and legally, all that land belonged to Sasuke.
Yes.
I don't think it was anything because he was the son of the head of the clan. So
Yes.
technically, all that land that belonged to Uchiha, this topic was reorganized by the Hidden Leaf Village. That was all his property.
Yes. Sasuke could claim it anytime he wanted, once he was old enough.
Which he never did.
He lost a lot of goodwill when he went rogue. Now, granted, Tsunade did try to downplay it to where Sasuke was abducted, but at the end of the day, he burned. By the time the Fourth Great Ninja War happened, he burned a lot of bridges.
And he was pardoned for that.
Kakashi used up a lot of his political capital, but yes, I think he was given a lifetime probation, if I remember correctly.
Yes, but technically, he was inside the village the rest of that time. Even though he was technically considered not a rogue ninja per se, I think it was considered a wandering ninja who was associated with the Hidden Leaf.
Yes.
Though he was an agent for Naruto.
Did Naruto ever claim his parents' house, or did he end up getting a new house?
I think it may have been his parents' house because the only difference I saw between the Flash, I guess one of the effective satellite dish on top.
Yeah, because in the original series, Naruto had his old parents' apartment, but in Boruto, he ends up having a more normal ground level house.
I think they show us in a flashback for the Fourth Ninja War, not before Nine-Tail attack, that they did have an actual house they lived in.
Okay.
And my guess, he must have cleaned the house, and then later on, he must have had the salad dishes because it's future. I think there was also a story in there I saw where, you know how basically behind the Okage Mount in Boruto, there are buildings there. I believe there was a story arc there where people actually were against that at first.
Yes,
and it was played in one of the episodes. It was played one of the episodes where New City and Old City, as for a friendly rivalry, they played it up.
Yep.
I think some traditionalists didn't like it, but younger people had no problem with it. I mean, there's nothing really up there. Like, aside from the fact that, like, you remember from the original series, there was nothing other except a cave.
The cave, which was used to seal a Jinchuriki or political prisoners, and the Hokage Monument, nothing was up there. That was barren land.
So there was no reason people would be upset buildings were put up there.
But you're building on top of a national monument because it was so close to the Hokage Monument.
Yes. Now, the one thing the series never gave a name for, the building where it has the Hokage office. I've heard Hokage Mansion, but in the entirety of Naruto and Boruto, they never give this building a name. It just was a building, an office building, that just happened to have the Hokage's office, some Jinchuriki office, and some other office that relates to the village. But the building was never given an official name. And it's weird, though, when the village was attacked, this is one building was actually... Like everything else was destroyed in the village when paying attack. This actually was one building that was actually not destroyed. Everything else was. Including Naruto's old apartment.
Oh, that's why. Naruto's old apartment was destroyed in Pain's assault. Okay.
Yeah, and then he got a new apartment afterwards. Because they did show after the attack happened, people were living in tents.
Yeah.
Which that would normally happen. And by the time the Fourth Ninja War, I think it ended. I think the village was finished being rebuilt.
Yes. And then Naruto got a new home. I don't know if he bought it or if it was Minato and Kushina. They did buy a home together, and then Naruto claimed it when he was old enough.
Because in the last, he has an apartment.
Yes. But back to our new topic now that we've finished the chapter review. As for an anime anthology series would probably be best, kind of like a mini series adapting the novel, something like that. Because if you jump straight to where we left off with that anime original episode after the code fight,
you're going to run out of chapters again.
Yeah, and because again, from that point on, that's not even the full code or omnipotence arc. Even if you split the code fight and when Ada catches the omnipotence leading to chapter 80, that's a 3 to 5 chapter gap at best.
Yeah.
You might as well just make that a movie.
Mm-hmm. I know there have been teases of OVAs. Apparently it was delayed. I heard it was looking about last summer, but it was delayed.
Yes, they were going to have for the anniversary. They were going to do some 4 Naruto OVAs in a modern animation style, but it got delayed for Thousand Year Blood War.
Yes, and a lot of people were thinking that it might be a remake of the original episodes, but I think they were original, not a remake.
I want to say they were original. Now they could, I at least from what I remember, unless sources changed.
Yeah, in the case of Naruto, I mean, yeah, some people might think, oh, I want to do a Kai situation. It's not really necessary when it comes to Naruto, because here's the thing. The whole series is pretty much adapted, except for the final chapter. That technically got partial adaptation in one of the episodes of Boruto, but that chapter is never fully adapted. But the main story of Naruto, that's all fully adapted. Nothing was skipped, as far as I can tell. So at least Bleach is getting that treatment. I'm glad. When I heard it was coming back, I was so happy they were going to adapt this up because I think they teased it for because I originally watched the series for Bleach back in 2017, basically a year after the manga ended, and the anime ended in 2014. The dub ended here because I think in Japan ended in 2012.
Yes.
And I'm thinking okay, the rumor for the longest time, prior to Bleach coming back, that the reason why we never got any return for Bleach was because of Boruto. Then they end the Boruto. That's the rumor I've heard. I heard that from a YouTuber likes Bleach.
So according to this YouTuber, I just want to make sure I understand this. According to this YouTuber, they believe that Bleach, despite originally leaving syndication in 2012, it was canceled to prioritize Boruto. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I think they wanted to bring it back, but because Boruto was on the air, they couldn't exactly work on it. I think they want to bring it. I think they could have brought it back as 2016, 2017-ish, but they couldn't because Boruto. I guess when Boruto ended, that's probably opened up the way to do how to do blood work.
Time slot.
Yeah.
And I think Super had a similar problem where they originally ended syndication to prioritize the moot so they could set up Dragon Ball Super Broly, but they couldn't resecure a time slot. So I can see the logic there a bit.
And I've heard rumblings the series might come back, and nothing's been confirmed aside for that new anime they're doing.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Daima, which will something happen there? I want to say that's just. I don't think it's going to be a Dragon Ball Heroes situation where it's largely its own thing.
Yeah, I need to finish watching that because I actually was kind of enjoying Super Dragon Ball Heroes. That was actually a really fun series to watch. It's only 5 minutes, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's a promotional anime for the video game, which is exclusive to Japan. I think we should have gotten an international release. But it's
weird that it's kind of weird. The whole time it's been out, and prior to Funimation shut down, Funimation never licensed this for a dub.
Why do you say that, Nick?
Because they dub pretty much everything else for Dragon Ball.
Fair enough.
They did pretty much all the movies, all the shows. There was one special. There was a couple of specials they didn't dub, but they did pretty much everything else. But not this series. Maybe because it's shorts. Heck, the Fairy Tail OVAs, still to this day, never had a dub.
Yo Son Goku and Friends Return never got an international dub.
No,
there's been some because it technically premiered during what's that end of the year festival? Jump Festa. Thank you. It was technically premiered in Jump Festa. That would be separate licensing to get it international because technically that wasn't a direct Studio Toei project. It was a collaboration for the festival.
Yeah.
So
I heard
that's
it was one Jump Festa where people were so disappointed because all they announced for the Jump Festa was all One Piece stuff. Nothing else. No Bleach. Nothing.
I don't remember that year, but I know it was more than a few years ago.
Yeah, because people were so disappointed because it's fine if you get promoted stuff for One Piece, but only One Piece, nothing else. That's kind of dumb. That's dumb on Weekly Shonen Jump for not announcing anything else. No new series, no new anime, nothing. I think the last one. I think Black Clover got a stage to show us new stills, but that was it. Because it seemed like since the movie came out for Black Clover, it's been like not much. Last chapter came out like 4 months ago because the manga switched from monthly to like quarterly. And I did hear they're going to, the writer is going to wrap up the series. Don't know when, but it's kind of similar what happened with D. Gray Man. Where it comes to once every 4 months now. That's what it seems like anyways, but I have not heard a release date for the next chapter. Like, I've heard nothing. Like, last chapter came out in December, and then once it came out, there's been no date on when the next chapter is released. I mean, I'm loving what they did with the series itself. I did hear prior to the move over that the studio the creator did get a new studio, and I don't know if you heard about this. People thought that maybe Black Clover, the anime, got a new studio, but no, it was the manga got a new studio. The manga was going to do working.
Yep.
We hear that like does that sound quite confusing?
That is confusing. That is very confusing
because the article never clarified it.
But I just want to move topics ever so briefly to how, because the new issue of Tom King's Wonder Woman has released, and
which I haven't read it yet.
You haven't read it yet, but it's apparently in the eyes of some people, it's very jarring. And I'm like, I would describe this run with Sovereign, Absolute Power, all of it as wasted potential. Granted, I've read the issue and I will not spoil it because you are my co-host, and that is just professional courtesy. Mm-hmm. I will not. Maybe we can do a follow-up once you've actually read the issue.
Yeah, I'm a couple weeks behind on comics right now.
Fair enough. But from what I read, you had an opportunity to have this larger background puppeteer-like villain. Have a slow burn and have it directly bleed.
You like Dr. Psycho?
Yeah, Dr. Psycho could have worked. Dr. Psycho would have been a much better choice. But Tom King wanted to promote and highlight an original villain. But given what we have a slow burn and have done either because he originally wanted this whole thing to be relatively a self-contained Wonder Woman adventure, and then we branch right into Absolute Power to appease editorial and with Dawn of DC. It feels like the story is rushed because this was originally supposed to be a year-long initiative. Then things got delayed because despite this rebrand, there was so much you could do in a year. And now we're cutting into a summer blockbuster event with Absolute Power. So Tom King, is essentially trying to have his payoff from his slow build arc, even though it's a monthly title and he's practically not really done anything. Hell, issue 7 was practically filler. But it just feels
Absolute Power is that it just Amanda Waller be the main villain of it.
Again, we do the best way I can say
there's not much motive for it at all. It's like Amanda Waller is the main villain. She has some big thing going on. That's it.
And if you've seen some promotional art, there's a robot Amazo League, but needless to say,
I appreciate the fact DC is not hyping up. Like it's not much hype for this one, but at least they're keeping their mouth shut.
Yes. But I just feel like this is just going to be this whole overarching narrative with Absolute Power, regardless of what you think about the DC Ultimate Universe comics right now or rumors of it. I just feel like this is going to be a ripoff of the Cadmus saga, but not executed nearly as well.
The only comics I feel as though DC are actually doing pretty good. The Superman books are doing much better than they have been for several years.
They have. House of Brainiac is off to a great start.
Batman comics are hit and miss for some people. I do like Batman by Zdarsky. I think it's pretty interesting. I like what Van V is doing. Nightwing is hit or miss for some people. Batman and Robin's really good.
Batman and Robin is good. I will give you that. I have some things to say about Nightwing, but I will give you that. Green Arrow's
good.
Yep.
Because it's Williamson. Because, with the exception of Dark Crisis, the guy has had hit after hit after hit.
And I will say this till I'm blue in the face. Joshua Williamson made the best out of a bad situation between the 5G falling apart, the 5G, the Infinite Frontier rebranding, and all trying to tie it back together. Okay, we got to wrap this up. This is not working. We need to rebrand. And Joshua Williamson was one of their best in contract writers at the time.
If I see him again, I'm gonna ask him the obvious question: who the heck idea was Alan Sky is gay?
Okay, we're talking Earth 2 saga, or are we talking in main continuity?
Main continuity, he's gay.
If you're willing to ask him that question, I'd happy to hear what he had to say.
I looked it up. He wrote that story because I would love to figure out who his idea was, because this is a stupid idea still to this day. It's been 3 years since they did this, and it's still stupid. Alan Scott, Prime Universe Alan Scott should not be gay. I don't mind the Earth 2 saga. That's fine. That's the universe. But Prime Universe Alan Scott needs to be straight.
And didn't they do a whole social commentary? I want to say this was the 80s. Correct me if I'm wrong. When Obsidian comes out of the closet and it was a big thing.
I think so, but him I don't mind because that was established years ago. But this is Alan Scott. Man's been straight for almost 100 years. Why am I gay?
Because of synergy and how Earth 2 saga was successful, and Alan Scott was a key player in that story. Cheap synergy.
Yeah, except here's the thing. His alpha was completely different in that series. And also his power came from his engagement ring, not from the Stoneheart.
That is true.
Yes, and the fact that the avatar of the white was his dead fiance.
Hey, Tavia, what's up? And, we've gotten some more comments. Hello, what's going on? Pretty good. Reddit, it is not good. Not original villain. His original villain isn't interesting. Why did it get delayed? Okay, he's talking about Bleach. Comics League Jerry. Oh, yeah, I saw the short. He was furious. But, okay, Tavia has a question. J. Blaze, I was just wondering, Nick, what do you think? You want him on?
Want to talk about this discussion related to...
Yes, just everything we've been talking about so far.
Okay.
Okay, all right, hang tight, Tevia. I will send you the link. But while we're waiting on that, what's the best way I could say this without going into spoilers? Sovereign isn't interesting. The guy is, okay, how can I say this without getting demonetized or critiqued on social media? The guy's a raging misogynist, and that's all there is to him. Like, position of power, this kind of de facto king pulling the strings in the American government. It's some conspiracy type shit. Like, seriously, there's no way I could take this.
When it comes to creating villains, Tom King, as far as I can tell, has not created many villains.
He is not. He is not experienced in it by far. He is not.
I would say James Tynion creates more memorable characters than Tom King ever did.
Oh, definitely. I will hands down agree to that.
Because when you think of Tom King Batman, who did he create? Gotham Girl. That's it. I can't think of anything else he created. Because everybody else, you look at the whole run, it's all characters they've been there for decades.
And I wouldn't even count Gotham. I wouldn't even count Gotham and Gotham Girl villains. Yes, Gotham Girl goes off the deep end, but that's because of her lingering trauma and her mortality, and not to mention being abused and broken by Psycho Pirate.
And here's the weird thing. That character is most written by Tom King.
No one else has used her.
Like, her brother's been dead since the opening story of Batman. He came back.
Didn't he swap out in Red Hood's Suicide Squad and like Task Force Z? Was he swapped out for Bane?
Yeah. He was doing that for some reason, but he's still technically dead.
Okay.
Though the weird thing is, apparently, for some reason, the person running Task Force Z wasn't Waller. It was Two-Face.
Oh,
I found that weird. And the fact that he uses Lazarus stuff, which I'm not sure where the heck Two-Face got this stuff from to revive, like, the dead characters or these zombies. And then Red Hood had to fight him for Gim Moore to get full revive. I think that the only one who got full revive was maybe Man-Bat. He was dead prior to this, and he came back fully. Deadshot's still technically dead. They even brought back Bloom.
They did. They brought back Bloom. The Task Force Z roster was Red Hood, a woman named Alice, Bloom,
Arkham
supposedly Arkham Knight, yes.
Which I'm not sure how the heck she died. It was weird.
They never did address how she died because she was the villain of the Detective Comics 1000 and milestone issue.
For that first story at the 1000, she was the first story, which I found her more interesting as her. She made sense as Arkham Knight than Jason Todd did in the Arkham Knight video game.
Yeah, with Jason as Arkham Knight, that's purely for branding of the Arkhamverse games. That was pure because it's essentially an Under the Red Hood
And
adaptation.
Rock said they got called out for it, and they were basically blowing smoke. Just like everything related to the character, everything they said about a character. Everyone pointed out, though, that's Jason Todd. Everyone pointed out, though, that was Jason Todd.
And they tried to make it a
he's
big
a character, and he takes the helmet. Yeah, it's Todd. It was Todd all along.
It was freaking obvious.
So predictable. And then New Arkham Knight, it makes sense because she's Sharon Arkham's daughter. At least Man-Bat, they actually do address his death because there's a story, in a backup story in Detective Comics 1004 that they actually show his death. Which I found that kind of strange. Man-Bat, from what I can tell, is somewhat a beloved character of Batman comics, but why kill him off for? It made no sense to me.
Your guess is as good as not, but at least Joshua Williamson brought him back for Batman and Robin. And now our second guest on the channel.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. I'm doing good. Oh, today I saw a Civil War movie. I saw this. Yes.
Hey.
I'm gonna see that tomorrow. I'm gonna see that tomorrow.
Wait, Spy X Family got a movie now?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was so funny. It was funny.
Right.
As you know, this is it's so hilarious.
No spoilers, Tevia.
I'm gonna see it tomorrow.
Spoilers, but it's so funny.
Yeah, today, I actually
What the time, gentlemen? Nick?
Yeah. Tivy, I sat down and watched a Jujutsu Kaisen 0.
Oh yeah, I saw that movie one theaters.
That was good. Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
That was good.
Truly heartbreaking.
Mappa, like watching the movie, like, man, like, yeah, the movie, I don't know how much budget movie was, but it looks like a lot of the budget movie went into this gorgeous animation. It was so gorgeous.
Masterclass.
Like,
yes. And for I don't know if this was made while season 2 was going. I don't know, or between. I'm not sure. But I did mention my video that the chronologically plays this movie because there's an arc in season 2. I think it's the second arc they have after hidden inventory.
Yeah,
where it's like after that flashback, go to early years. You can play this movie there, and then the present day stuff.
Yeah, with the present day stuff, it's the whole Tokyo incident, and all much to do with bloodbath. A lot of people died in that season. The next season coming.
Yeah, though we're gonna see that again with Cullen Game when they adapt that for season 3. I'm not sure when it's come out. They announced it.
Especially with the convict map with the convict over there, which no, it's the better.
Map in the last few years, it seems like they've taken way too many series because
they did.
Yeah, they did.
I think they have like about 6 right now.
7.
Yeah, because they finished Attack on Titan. That finished already. That finished.
I actually watched the specials for that last couple of days. They're actually pretty good. I actually like the specials.
Same.
I actually watched them dubbed.
Yeah, I watched the dub. When they came out on the dub, I watched immediately. The dub. It's probably the final season that came out in January, which is this year. It was insane, but awesome, sad, depressing, but it was a good finale. Is it good at the manga? Is it better than the manga finale?
It's practically the same, but the anime did extend it a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't get why people didn't like the ending. I never have understood that.
I have a theory. My theory, we want the people didn't like the ending is because people will attack the Eren Yeager and his story. So I was attacking the story too. I was attacking Eren Yeager and people didn't want to die. But God, that's depressing.
So someone pointed this out though with Eren turning bad. It's similar to what happened in the final season of Game of Thrones, where the main character becomes a bad guy.
Not even so much that, because that was as far back as season 3. That was at least somewhat set up. But as for Eren, it's just the fact that not only does Eren ultimately die at the end, it's the wrap up to where Aiko, she still mourns for Eren despite everything he did.
Mikasa,
thank you.
Which I met her voice actor this year. Amazing person.
Aw, that's cool.
I got a picture of her too. I'm sure Till you probably saw on Twitter.
Oh yeah, I think I saw it.
Yeah, Trina, that's her name, and she's only just a few years older than me.
Oh, that's cool.
And you're gonna smile at this, Divya. She's going to Metricon in a couple months.
Yay! That's awesome.
Yep, I'm gonna see her again. I'll take a sip.
Tell her at the I tell her at the for me that
Yeah,
then
I did ask her. I did ask her this. What was she surprised Misaka cut her hair final season? She says yes, she was surprised about that.
It makes sense, especially after the age she went through. Like,
yep.
But God Almighty, and
I think Matt. The only thing I disagree with the final season is stretching as long as it did.
Yeah, that part I agree with. This should not be playing the 2 points or 3 points.
That's what's ultimately going to make it worse in the long run, because you did stretch it out as long as you did. Probably because they knew that the original manga ending got a lot of controversy. Okay, we still have a lot of hype. We still have a lot of momentum. We have a lot of fan investment. Let's drag this out for as long as humanly possible, because the moment this comes out.
And look at how much the episode count for this final season was. This is more than season 1.
Yes, I believe this is
35 episodes.
35.
You need to have a lot of plot points.
And
the one plot point I didn't like that thing that resolved the girl who shot him on particularly when she got shot. Like, you're telling me this girl gets away with it? What?
Yeah, though they did change basically how with her and Levi, because I read the final chapter for that review in the manga. Gabby and Falco are pushing Levi's wheelchair. In the anime, they're planting a tree and Levi is handing out candy. They changed that from the ending. Most everything else you see, and they did extend the sequence of the tree where Mikasa buried Aaron's head. I know it's a spoiler, it's been a few years, but yeah, she decapitated Aaron, buried his head near that tree, and over the years we see like buildings go up, like modern buildings, and then they're destroyed by missiles.
Yep.
Like, that was something mentioned in the manga. Here, they extended it. It's over the course of a few minutes.
What's up, Movie Theater King?
Oh, Movie Theater King.
Hola.
Thank you for taking the time to be on the show tonight. But I wanted you guys both here for this section specifically, and how, without going into spoilers, would you say, for this recent issue, would you say the Tom King Wonder Woman run is decent, gone off the rails, or just meh, like mid?
The Tom King Wonder Woman, I read some issues of it. I've been keeping track of it, moving back up to a Trinity. The Trinity stuff is funny, even though it's still frustrating. But honestly, I've been down that way so many times, and you know that stuff. But after the main story, it's whatever. At this point, I don't care anymore. Like, this story is going on for way too damn long. Like, I don't care.
True.
I don't care what Solid. I don't care what the story. It's not interesting. The training stuff was not giving him, but that story going nowhere. To be fair, the back with young training at all was cute. It's not the central at all, but at this point, no good deal with that shit. But young training at all. When she go back in time, that's funny. It was hilarious. Stupid, but funny. That's what I probably liked. Everything else, not so much.
Movie Theater King, your response?
Like, just get to the point with Trinity. Like, the whole Sovereign. Like, this was also, like, another blunder to, like, one of the children of the Trinity. Like, it's getting mad to boring. Like, yes, this is an allegory for Trump. This is an allegory for this. This is an allegory for that. Okay. Get to the point. You're taking too long. Like, at what point does Trinity... At what point does Trinity relate to any of this?
Good question.
Because this could literally just been a new villain, and Trinity could have literally nothing to do with this. Literally nothing. Which
also, who's the mother? If it's not Wonder Woman,
no,
it's that blonde Amazon girl that from the first issue. That's the mother.
Emily, who actually did. I believe this was established in issue 803. Where she fought Diana for the mantle of Wonder Woman, and Emily fought Diana off to a standstill. Then it's alluded to, not directly stated in the issue itself, something happens to her to where she ends up with child, and then she goes on then she lashes out, goes on an unaliving spree, and starts an international incident. To which, what's going on with Amazon's attack? A rogue Amazon goes off the rails who takes advantage of the chaos, further stigmatizing the Amazons, and it becomes a whole thing. All in all, it feels like Emily and Trinity have become a narrative afterthought with what Tom King wanted to do with Sovereign.
Yeah, if you think they a waste of time. Because wait, we set up trend all the way back issue 1 to issue. I think issue I
8.
don't
We're
remember.
on issue 8 right now.
But issue 8 issues. We set up for issue 1 to issue 8, and nothing's been resolved yet. Then what the fuck is back into with that future with the Super Sons? What's the point? Also, what's the big deal? What's his end game? Like, is end game gonna king of the world?
Now, it does tie into absolute power, where you actually want to make superheroes and metahumans look bad, which could culminate in absolute power. And you would think, okay, Sovereign's going to play a role in absolute power because it's all these converging themes. But it almost as if the Sovereign stuff is relatively self-contained, that takes place just before absolute power, other than the fact that Emily gives birth to Trinity before being killed off.
Speaking of Sovereign, we do get the love in the Titans book called the Fear of Sovereignty. Wait, what? Wait, so Sovereign was involved in Beast World. They were involved in War. They were involved with Wonder Woman. Why the hell have they not been involved in anything else and decided to throw 2 books?
Because again, even though editorial has final say, these are still pitches in terms of getting everything out on time. Editorial, it's up to editorial to approve it before it goes to print. Now, this could be a situation where Tom King and Tom Taylor had similar ideas, and it just got lost in the ether.
Oh,
Or being the case, won't be the first time. How we didn't try this? That would have been in DC Universe.
yeah. I know that when it comes to that, I didn't know about this until Linkar reviewed it for his series for his show. That I knew he had gotten death threats Batman 50. I did not know he got death threats for Heroes in Crisis.
Oh no, it was worse. I argue it was worse for Heroes in Crisis.
Yeah, but the thing is, it wasn't as let's just say as out there as Batman 50 was.
No, with Batman 50, because you had this huge establishment, all the setup, Batman, Catwoman, getting okay. First of all that could be chalked up to editorial going into a different direction. That's at least somewhat that's somewhat amendable.
And he gets death threats over that issue, and then he gets death threats or Heroes in Crisis.
Yeah, but the reason I say
okay, because it wouldn't worry where's my Flash.
The Heroes,
I think it was mostly over how you portray people with mental disabilities.
Oh.
Yeah, it was largely over that. As for, shippers, bait and switch, it happens all the time. So
and I believe also he's regretted doing that series.
Heroes in Crisis or Batman?
Heroes in Crisis. Heroes in Crisis.
Yeah, he like it's been out there. The original name of the series was Sanctuary. The fact that he regretted a lot of stuff for the series. I talked to Clay Mann about that you put the Heroes in Crisis on your top 10 worst comics.
Yep.
And he predicted the reason why he put it on the list because they killed Wally.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons. I will admit that. But
yeah, he actually, because I mentioned that to him, and that was the reason why he put it on there. But that was one of the reasons. But yeah, but he guessed it right away. That was the reason why that you put it on your worst comics. I think it was
2018.
2018.
Yeah, I put it on my movie next to Bendis Superman. But Superman, that would be number 1. That would be number 1. But that thing.
I didn't think Bendis Superman was terrible. It's just that I think he had more of an idea with the main Superman book than he did with action.
Yes.
The main book broke me.
The plus Action Comics had this big problem, and I do not know why he was brought back for the book. The fact that the last 10-ish the book was drawn by John Romita Jr.
Oh yeah, with Leviathan. That terrible character.
Okay, Event Leviathan is just a rebrand from. Okay, Event Leviathan was repurposed from basically Talia. She ends up being killed at the end of Batman 8. Then Manhunter takes over the organization, causes a international incursion with the destruction of Markovia. They try to resolve the overall mystery. I don't even think the mystery gets resolved in the full story.
Not really. By the time it's over, it's like they're there, they're a threat, and that led into what was supposed to be called Leviathan Checkmate, and just called Checkmate, which I thought was a really good series. And plus, that miniseries did something that I'm like, why could this be used as a headquarters of Justice League? Their space station that they've had, the one that was supposed to destroy Priest Run.
Yeah.
Here it is, fully functional in Checkmate, not being used for no reason except for use as storage. And that book did resolve the Makovia thing where they did liberate Makovia from Leviathan. And indirectly, I think Bendis set up Shadow War.
Indirectly, yes.
Indirectly, yeah.
Yes, which that event was amazing. There's no denying Shadow War was amazing.
The one thing
It
I
was
do
good.
about Shadow War is the Geoforce stuff. Because what?
It makes sense, but would he really go off the deep end that quickly or go that far about
Also,
it?
we went Terry's dead again. What? That makes no sense. Terry's alive. She's alive kicking in. Oh wait.
Inconsistency with Deathstroke Rebirth aside,
Yeah.
it's the motivation
at
is
the
there.
time Shadow War happened, the previous District trial ended, the one pre-stroke, that ended in 50, and they incorporated, which Williams wrote the first 9 issues of that 13-issue series. And he told me this about that title, that year 1 story, he was going to do that, but the only reason he couldn't do it because Dark Crisis.
Of course.
So he had Ed Bronson, who is a good writer. There's no denying the fact the guy is a good writer.
Yeah.
No.
I thought the story was fine. I had no problem in year 1. That the final story he did.
He definitely year 1 because I did put it down. That's a long time ago.
Oh, sorry, Movie Theater King.
Oh.
You could have raised your hand or said something
Yeah.
out.
Sorry, Movie King.
Anybody worried Absolute Universe? Not gonna lie, I am skeptical, especially if this is not as planned out. And New 52 was not planned out at all.
No, it was not planned at all. Like, because
that was something that,
one at a time, gentlemen. Nick.
The story I've heard is that Dan Dio wanted to do that for several years. He really wanted to do it. And then he was able to do it because they changed who the president of the company was.
Yep.
To be fair, he did try to force it.
The previous president had no interest in doing this at all. I think it may have been Levitz at the time because I heard Paul Levitz. It was Paul Levitz. When he got removed and they put a woman in charge, that's when they give the green light to reboot the universe.
Yep.
And say what you will about Dan DiDio, at least, and there was nothing wrong, shaking things up again. Things can get convoluted after a 5 to 10 year span if you're not, especially in the transition from New 52 to Rebirth. There were points there, but trying to force it with the 5G but okay, let me just drop the pretense. Copying all new, all different was not the best way to go about it. Let's just be honest.
Doomed to fail when they effing won.
Language, Tevia.
No. I said effing. I not said the actual word, but
I appreciate the attempt. That was such a fundamentally flawed way to go about it. Other than chasing headlines and in the speculation market, you were going to peak within the first couple of months.
Yep. And then it crashed and burned for 5 years.
Yeah, I've heard stories basically when New 52 happened the first year where a lot of the writers left the company because the environment was so toxic. It's weird. Here's the weird thing. The Bat books were completely immune from the toxic environment. The Bat books, the Grey Lantern books, they were all immune.
The Super books were not me at all. They were destroyed.
I've read George Perez was not happy with that book. So,
oh, no, he was furious.
What
about Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman was fine as Azarello.
Yeah, Azarello. Azarello. Imagine God of War, but with Wonder Woman. That was basically Azarello's run.
Yeah.
I know who actually loved that run was David Finch.
Surprisingly.
And he was the artist who succeeded Cliff Chang on the artwork. And this is the book that got Meredith Finch noticed by comic fans. Because it was the first major series she worked on. Yeah, she brought Donna Troy in the continuity. I mean, you think of that run, that's the most memorable thing about that run, that she brought Donna Troy in the continuity.
Yep.
And
they
gave her Wonder Woman's original backstory. Her original origin she would play. Which good. I was not a fan of that. Same. Because here's the thing about Donna Troy. Since she was first created back in the 60s, she has gone through 7 different origin stories.
Technically 8.
The first one she had only after she first showed up.
Yep.
Second one was after Crisis.
Yes.
Yep.
I think it changed again not long after that, and they changed it for David Grayson's Titans book.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you had this one.
Wait, were those? No, those were alternate futures, and then the time paradox. What happened to Donna Troy? Those weren't origins.
Yeah, the David Grayson thing was the Dark Angel stuff, there's also the John Byrne thing, where it was 10 different Donna Troys.
Oh God!
I found a thing. Like what?
The one thing you least appreciate about that run for John Byrne, he gave us Cassie Sandmark.
True. That made me happy. She's a good character.
One breakout character is not enough to save a bad run. I'm sorry, it's
Sure.
really not.
Yeah.
Also,
It's-
like, I mean, this is one of those times John Byrne does the thing where this is a thing he does. If he does the artwork, with the exception of Kenny X-Men, if he does the artwork, he has to do the writing, because that's the thing with him. Like every book he's worked on, he's generally done both. He technically never wrote any issues of Kenny X-Men. It's all Chris Claremont.
Yep.
And according to Jim Shooter, the reason why he left that title was because of Jean Grey,
Because Jean Grey's death
Wait, the Phoenix Saga or when she came back?
the Dark Phoenix saga.
Okay.
when she came back to life.
Okay, so
What
Jim Shooter told me
Oh.
is that him and Chris Claremont agreed on an idea for Jean Grey. Byrne did not agree with the idea. It was basically over what was handled in the finale, how she died, because Byrne's idea was shove her in a prison. And
Okay.
Claremont didn't want to do that. Jim Shooter didn't want to do that. They ever got the blessing to kill her off, so they killed her off. And because of that, and I think John must have been portrayed by Chris Claremont to change their original idea. He left the book and he had a feud with him. So-
yeah, I did it. Yeah,
Yes,
I did.
there's an infamous issue of Fantastic Four of this, where
Yeah, when he
it
walked,
was an issue
I
of
remember
King
this.
X where Doc Doom shows up, and you have Arcade light a match on his armor. So John Byrne retconned that was basically a Doom bot
of course.
as
You
the
should be
way
on
of
target
heading
opening
this.
with it. I know you only did it with Dr. Manhattan, but you should not be more 6160. You were screwed up. No, that's not true. Dr. Manhattan did not do that. No. Technically speaking, that was Dr. Manhattan, yeah, Dr. Manhattan did manipulate the universe. That is true. But that was retconned into Rebirth. Technically speaking, New 52 with Pandora. Pandora did it. And she died. She got pointed at yeah.
It was a combination of things. First Flashpoint, then Dr.
Flashpoint.
Manhattan, and then Pandora's Box.
Yeah, all three. Speaking of Pandora, damn.
Then in the private chat, Movie Theater King said, I would say female Brainiac Queen would probably have a proto-universe for her to experiment using whatever. Waller would probably be interested as a countermeasure to Earth Zero. Oh, as an origin for Absolute. Okay, I could see that.
Yeah, I read a line that apparently one of the Brainiacs seen in this story is the Brainiac from New 52 Futures End.
And Convergence.
And Talos. We got to talk about it. Okay.
Oh, I forgot about Talos. I forgot to care what it's
So, who's going to be the female Brainiac, and what's the origin?
I
for
want to
I would
say,
do it.
one at a time, gentlemen. I want to say Brainiac Queen is going to be an original character because if you try to tie this back to a previous story, it will not end well.
I have a theory. My theory is Brainiac Queen is drummer, please. Let's shoot his daughter.
What?
Yeah, okay. If you don't know who this guy is, she actually came back recently in the Superman books by Jackson Williamson, and she technically was Speaker, Lex Super, and I think I did Rena. Not Rena. Shit.
No, I know who you're talking about, but why her specifically?
Because she had the three symbols on her head.
Yeah, she was. Luthor's daughter was abducted by Brainiac back in the '90s and was imprinted by him. Yeah, I remember that.
Yes.
I actually,
I highly doubt they reference that because if you think about it, not much stuff in the last several years in reference. I mean, the only thing recently referenced was Death of Superman.
And Rena.
and that's because of the 30th anniversary.
Yep.
I just feel like that's too big of a deep cut. Granted, the setup is there, but that is just too big of a deep cut. And while waiting on that,
Yeah, I was hoping Tivia see it because I got this book.
okay,
Tivia.
hold on.
Nice.
A compilation of all the backup stories from Lois and Clark 2.
Yeah,
Yep.
from Action Comics
I love that book.
1051 to 1057.
And her WCW special. Ta-da.
Yep. This is
Now-
not the one I got recently for Superman. I also got
Yep.
Superboy,
Oh yeah, the content book.
Man of Tomorrow. That
which
was a
I've
good
heard people accused him of being a fascist in this book. I read the book. I don't know where people accuse me of fascist.
He's not. That's the other guy. That's the other British Superboy. Doom Patrol.
Unstoppable Doom Patrol. That was
Which
a good
I
series.
wish, like, you read this. This should have been ongoing, not a 7-issue maxi series.
Why would it say it's a magazine? I don't get it.
It was good.
It was good. But okay, Jared and Britt will probably be too quick to jump on this, but even though Lois and Clark, the original maxi series,
I don't
tanked,
know the miniseries. How the miniseries they died.
it stemmed from a lot of continuity problems, even before Rebirth, because
Yep.
and it was such an easy way to explain it away. Maybe because of convergence and hopping from one timeline to another, there are different properties in terms of Superman's powers. Maybe Clark was depowered for a time. There were ways to explain it away without, he actively did nothing for 5 years.
Here's the thing. He had one active for 5 years. They explain it in the actual the miniseries. He was actually preventing other villain from appearing. In example, he was dealing with a new villain, Blank. Who's Blank? He's a psychic who pretty know this murderer.
He also tried to prevent Hank Henshaw becoming Cyborg Superman, and he became Cyborg Superman anyways.
Yeah, he did into the chaos gem thing from that alien
Because
lady.
if I remember correctly, there was a famous scene. I think it's from John Byrne's run. I think it happened in. I think it was Venture Superman or Superman Volume 2, where he first hit Hank Henshaw before he became Cyborg Superman, and because of the radiation, because technically his group was a Fantastic Four ripoff.
Yeah,
That
it
is
was.
true.
And,
That is
they,
true.
and they all died very horribly.
And you see Hank Henshaw, like he seems normal, and then his face starts melting.
Yep.
Literally
and
melting.
And then began Angie Bean, who took it over. Oh, hey, my wife.
And
I love
after
you.
the
And
story,
he's done a window.
he's not seen again until Reign of the Superman,
Yes. And because I was human.
which is what he's best known for.
Coast City.
Which, of course, basically that they have occasionally brought that up. And here's the weird thing about that. Like, in story, the reason why he did that because his wife was from there.
Yep.
His
It
wife
is
was
shocking. His wife was from Coast City.
Oh, okay.
He blew
And
it
here's
up.
something shocking. Why hasn't Hal Jordan beat the crap out of this guy for blowing up his hometown?
Maybe he forgot about it.
He
No,
risen once, but he never beat him up for it. He should have got. What he should have got was a big beating for killing millions.
well, you
No
also got
way.
to factor the Green Lantern book was down the ether, and they decided, no, we're going to have a tell a Fall from Grace story, have Hal Jordan go off the deep end, and then debut a new character in Kyle Rayner. If it wasn't for the original Parallax ordeal, and they decided to go in a new direction instead, I could definitely see an idea. Or if you just wanted to retire Hal Jordan in general,
Yeah,
I could
Linkar
just say-
did review that story recently. He pointed out the ending of it was like I reread it too. The ending of that story felt a bit rushed.
it was.
rushed. For what I heard, John, I think from Linkar review, but apparently I think the writer who wrote that book got reported to another writer and said, like, well, shit, we gotta let the story.
The writer who wrote Twilight was Ron Martz. The original writer who wrote that volume was Gerald Jones. Though I have heard the reason people want to bring him up recently because the man went to jail recently.
Of course. Wait, what? He did? What he do?
He got arrested.
For what?
I think he killed somebody.
Mm.
I had to look it up, see what he got arrested for. Let's see, because I know he got arrested because here we go. Let's do this here.
While we're waiting on that, basically, if it weren't for the Twilight Saga, I could definitely see a story where Hal goes off the deep end and actually try to unalive Cyborg Superman for the destruction of Coast City. He uses all his willpower and breaks the quote unquote the Guardians version of the no kill rule, and then he's discharged as a Green Lantern because of it. And then he finds another source, maybe the Dark Star or even another Lantern ring.
Well, Parallax infects him.
Parallax Infection was a retcon by EVS and
Jeff Johns. Yeah.
with Jeff Johns and EVS.
Okay, I found out exactly what he was charged with. It's similar with the writer Rashura Kenshin was charged with.
Oh, for God's sake. God damn it. It's Wanda, isn't it?
Yeah, but he actually went to jail for this. The writer Rashura Kenshin pay a fine.
Of course.
I think he was blacklisted from the industry as well. They bring Kenshin back.
Exactly.
I think this is publishing his manga, the sequel to Rashura Kenshin.
Mm.
That did come out recently at the reboot anime.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but I'll probably watch it soon. So he was sentenced to 6 years what he did, but he got released just about a year and 4 months ago.
Great. Wonderful. That's going to remind me of a documentary I watched recently. Called,
Yeah, he
Quiet
like,
Steps.
6 years, and you would think 6 years. That means he released this year. No, he got released early.
For
Well,
good
3 years.
behavior.
Who knows? Apparently, he did the English translation for. This might surprise you. He did the English translation for Dragon Ball.
He did?
He did.
Yeah.
I
NZ.
didn't know like that.
Here's the books he worked on. He did an El Diablo miniseries.
Never heard of it.
Elongated Man, his first and only miniseries he released. Flix, God Will, the first 47 issues of Green Lantern Volume 3. There were 2 miniseries called Emerald Dawn. He did the first one. He did all but the opening issue of the second one. He was right for going to Mosaic. Gaigarna Reborn. There's Gaigarna Ongoing. Dixon did mention on his podcast that he actually liked the character Guy Gardner. He was asked to take it over, and he asked the artist. He was a fan of Joe Saint. He did the book, and the reason why this one was so short was because they fired the writer. So he was asked to leave. So he asked basically the guy who replaced him. He was a big Guy Gardner fan, and he had a run with the book. He also did issues for. He also did the Hulk 2099. He was the co-writer for Justice League Europe. He took over from. Because originally was Keith Gibbon and James Martinez to do the book originally. I think it was Keith Gibbon left the book. It was him or James Martinez that left the book, and he took over as co-writer. He did issue 57. He was the pioneer of Justice League America. He had Martian Man on one shot. He did Prime from Malibu Comics. He was also, get this, now not that Mosaic. It was Green Lantern Mosaic. It was John Stewart's book.
Oh, Green Lantern Mosaic. The Mosaic I forgot from Marvel, this guy who's so
Yeah.
kind of boring.
Oh,
I'm glad he's
I agree. He was boring. Like the book was not that good.
gone.
He also did English translation for Rama Half.
I don't know what that is.
It's maybe the same person who did Inuyasha.
Oh.
He was also the writer for Wonder Man. Yes. Second issue killed off the Squirrel Green Lantern. He got run over by a bulldozer.
Yeah, in comics, the Squirrel Green Lantern's been dead for years, even though he's been adapted multiple times.
Yeah, he it's weird. It's like you read the issue and it's like Jon Stewart does not care at all what happens. So right behind him, basically the squirrel gets run by a bulldozer.
What the hell?
That's how he dies. The whole thing with this miniseries, the series was that it was set up in the pages of the main Green Lantern book, where there was a city of people that were abducted by aliens, and Jon Stewart was playing their protector.
With them point, then Cinnabar got blown up, and would you let
Yes, and I think this book got canceled due to low sales.
Honestly, I don't blame getting canceled because it was going nowhere.
Here's the weird thing: there is no trade for this series at all. None.
Which,
Not one release.
speaking of this one made a comeback in the Green Lantern book. Not the Jerry F. Not him. The other writer, Jeffrey Thorne. Jeffrey Thorne had the similar story to this.
Jeff Loeb.
No.
Jeffrey Thorne. Yeah, Jeffrey Thorne. Yeah, this run was atrocious.
Yes,
Yeah,
Critical Thinking pointed out though that the emotion was broken. Not really. I didn't feel it was broken by the end of the book. I'm not sure what he was talking about when he said that. I didn't feel the book was broken. I think it was split up. I don't think it was broken.
It was confusing. And Cinnabar got blown up again. God, did that Barry get not blow up for 5 seconds?
And here's the weird thing: after this book was finished, we didn't have another Green Lantern book until recently.
Oh no, Green Lantern Dawn of DC is the first Green Lantern book we've gotten in close to 5 years.
Yeah,
It's
like first ongoing since this book wrapped up. This book didn't focus on Hal. They focused on Guy. They focused on Teen Lantern and Frontier Lantern. Those were your stars of the book.
I don't give a vegetarian. I don't give a Teen Lantern.
No, well,
care about
Frontier Lantern is interesting. I like Frontier Lantern. I think she's a cool character.
Teen Lantern?
One of the Frontier or from Far Sector, she was, because this was all a lot of this was 5G setup, because she was going to be the 5G Green Lantern. So some of that was warranted. As for the overall run itself,
it's not terrible. It's just not that good.
It's just not good. I'm not going to say it's terrible. I'm not going to say it's hot garbage. It's just not good.
weird enough, this is the shortest ongoing for Green Lantern to date.
The one kid in the came out, man, and John Stewart become a god. We thought interesting.
And
Dark
this led,
Side.
and this led to a one shot for him, and then nothing until the recent Green Lantern stuff came out. And this book ended. What was it? 2020, 21 ended. It only lasted like a year.
Yeah, I think it was 2021, 22. I don't remember.
Yeah, it
Something
lasted
that.
for one full year. Had an annual. I actually bought the trades. Now this book. Now I think it's
amazing.
The main Green Lantern book is there by Philip Kennedy Johnson.
No. The main book is by Jerry Allen with the meeting. The other book is by PKJ War Journal.
Yeah,
War Journal has potential. War Journal has potential, but it
also gave us a Guy Gardner feature. Drawn by Ken McGuire.
Yeah, but it's fun.
War Journal kind of feels more grounded and self-contained compared to everything else going on with like United Planets, Kilowog being dead, the canon debut of Razor. It feels more like a grounded personal story.
And also, apparently, the United Federation Planets Lanterns are corrupt.
Yep, they're evil, which made me happy. Why? Because this back campaign took our region book out of existence. I win, baby. I win something.
Technically, the person responsible for bringing United Federation Planets to present day that was Bendis in issue of Superman.
Yeah. Whatever. It's one horrible anyway. So
it's a hollow victory, Tevia. Just take it. Movie Theater King, you've been awfully quiet. Anything you want to add?
So, like, for the absolute universe again, who should be the definitive Green Lantern and Flash?
White Flash, John Stewart.
What? Wait, what?
I choose White Flash and John Stewart Green Lantern at the definitive versions.
It depends how far you want to go with it. Do you really want it to be its own thing, or do you want to play with nostalgia, i.e. DCAU? It just depends on where you want to go with it.
Why not just use the two Green Lanterns no one uses right now? Jessica Cruz and Sam Boz.
Wait, when was the last time Simon Boz was used?
Green Lanterns on 57.
By the way, when I did my Titanium video at the a few years ago, I found out something about the series. It's ending at issue 6.
Yeah, it's a miniseries.
Are you kidding me?
Tibia.
I freaked out about that because why?
Tibia. I spoke about this at Tomasi, and he didn't say who the mother is for Sin's son, but he does agree with my theory is Lisa Dark.
It's obviously Lisa Dark.
It makes sense.
But yeah. As for this being a miniseries, and Movie Theater King, you can respond in just a moment. The damage is already done, man. The Super Sons brand is never going to be the same. You might be able to rekindle that magic in Elseworld stories here and there, like Deceased or something along those lines. It's just not going to be the same, man.
Because John and Damon have interacted a few times since John has been aged up.
I still make the DMAC normal, but I never get in my wish at this point when I.
Well,
Nick, please continue.
I also kind of wish, basically, that Power Girl, when she's not in Action Comics, not wear the jacket. Why can't she wear her normal costume?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the name change from Karen to Paige, I can understand, because that name has become synonymous with like someone entitled or likes to make a scene. So I understand that from a meta comment, from a modern standpoint. But I'm just not feeling the costume. Same. I don't know why. I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not.
I like the
costume. Amazing.
I like this costume the best.
This new one, I don't like it at all. I don't like the Paige name. I don't like that name change. It's so stupid. That is me.
Yeah. Oh, and that image right there with the stars. With Power Girl with the stars. That's from not that one. Above that one.
Oh yeah, this one. I've seen this cover.
That is from Jim Palmer, Amanda Connor, and Justin Gray.
It's a good one.
I did ask Jim Palmer on it of why they stopped doing the title 12 issues. Do you want to know the reason why they stopped doing it?
52.
What?
Nope. The book managed the last 13 more issues after they left. The reason why that they stopped doing it because the editor asked them to do the book without Amanda Connor.
What? That's a bad idea.
Yes. And I've also spoken to them about this, about when Tara showed up in Starfire. Because if you read her debut in Supergirl Volume 5 number 12 and read that Starfire issue, it's like it's a little remake. it's like the same exact story. And they kind of agree with me on that. It's literally the same story.
I did notice that. I forgot that tale within that Star
And-
story because I brought my mind because DCU happened.
Yeah, and if you're wondering why, anybody is wondering why Jim Harvey not done anything for DC in the last few years, Jimmy told me this. DC ghosted him.
Why?
Don't know why. I've asked them on Twitter, basically, why did they ask her, man, do the covers for Power Girl? Because when we think of Power Girl in the last 20 years, people think of her cover she did for Power Girl. Recently, I've seen on Twitter people talking about Paul Kupperberg's one from Power Girl from the 80s.
What? Odd.
Yes. Fun fact about that miniseries, not in trade. 4 issues.
That's insuspicious because they bought the Starburst in trade. Real on hold. Crap. Don't read that book ever.
Yeah.
True, it's garbage.
Yes. The Starfire book is amazing. There's no denying that book was amazing. Midnighter. I like Midnighter. Midnighter was really
good. I did hear Midnighter was good.
Black Canary. That book was actually pretty decent.
Real Robin, effing horrible. A horrible book that made no sense.
It was a tie-in. It was set up for Robin War. As set up for Robin War in the third direct storyline with the Court of Owls, it was decent. As a standalone, not so much.
And that book was written and drawn by the same person.
We got Bad Beyond DCU. It's not time to get Kendrick Robin.
Yeah. Sorry. Nick, please continue.
I think it's one of 2 he did where he wrote and drew the comic himself. The other being Batman Noel.
Mm-hmm.
I think those 2 I could think of that he's ever written. I can't think of any books he's written. And according to Brian Azzarello, he said he's done 5 books with Lee Bajimo. He did Joker, Batman Damned, the Lex Luthor Man miniseries, Batman Death Blow. There was, I think it was Ozymandias, I think it was, before Watchmen.
Yes.
And I think that's it.
Mm-hmm. You're not wrong about that.
Yeah.
Oh, this was stupid.
Oh, is that Jeremy Jr.'s artwork there?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. If it Gordon Batman
He briefly wrote Superman for a couple of years after Jeff Johns left the book.
Jet Street?
No, Jeremy Jr. wrote 2 issues of Superman after Jeff Johns left.
Oh yeah, I remember. I know what you're referring to. Yeah.
And Movie Theater King in the private chat says, "What should the absolute universe be? I say it should be something new and not rely on nostalgia. It also should take the name into its characters, the absolute versions of these characters and settings.
Maybe you should borrow some ideas from Earth One.
No, I got something better. Combine Rebirth with New 52. No, hear me out. No, that thing I got coming Rebirth with New 52 idea. But honestly, take the hope of some Rebirth, but try to do it better. Don't mess it up. Always want to do something new, fine. Do something new. But take something out from Earth 1, but don't take the bad of Earth 1. Don't take T9. T9 Earth 1 horrible. Do not borrow that into that book. That book is crap. Take the good stuff of Earth 1, not the bad stuff.
Movie Theater King, your response? Movie Theater King?
King?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay.
But yeah, somebody that wants at least the best of both worlds is what I'm getting at. And combine the stuff from Rebirth, from like what other thing do you want us to combine?
Rebirth with New 52, but maybe not New 52, but I got better. Maybe Rebirth from Post Crisis. Take Post Crisis and Rebirth.
Yeah, the post-crisis stuff, Tivy, is also I've heard of it as pre-Flashpoint.
Yeah, that too.
That's no name for it because pre-Flashpoint, if you think about it, it's kind of like the last couple of years before Flashpoint happened.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, wait a minute. But yeah, I've been hearing some rumors and such, like Wonder Woman's going to be an adventurer, Superman's going to be disconnected from humanity, and Batman's going to be a poor guy who becomes Batman, which sounds interesting, honestly.
What? Wait a second. We did that already with Stan Lee's Batman. We got that story.
Yes. And did you know that Just Man, Stan Lee, created DC Universe, that's all in trade?
Was that took forever to come out? Why?
Isn't that weird that that's in trade? But yeah, stuff like Paul Cutberg's Power Girl, Paul Cutberg's Checkmate, John S. Vs. Manhunter. I think what else?
Geomantic Struggle. Storming.
James Thomas Armor, that's on trade. The previous volume was not in trade.
Ow.
Yeah. That I'm trying to think what else was there. I'm trying to think what else. There's a lot of like Catwoman on trade.
You
And Green
know,
Arrow.
not gonna trade. Or Stargo. Think that's not trade.
Stargirl's in trade. The whole thing is collected multiple times.
So, Nick Lenz, Tevia, let's say this new, and yeah, Jay Heat if you want.
Sure.
Come up with a potential new origins for this Ultimate Universe's main characters. Give me ones for Aquaman, Martian Manhunter, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, and Green Lantern, and then at least one original character for this absolute universe.
Okay.
Okay, I'll go first. I'll give it a shot. How about an origin where Arthur was in Atlantis pretty much his whole life, despite that somehow Lana convinced her lover to actually let Arthur be raised in Atlantis, and you kind of get a Thor x Loki dynamic from the first Thor movie, to where despite being half brothers, one's resentful of the other, and he kind of goes on basically Thor 1 is what I'm imagining. Thor 1, but with Arthur Curry.
They kind of done that already ish. Post Crisis Aquaman, that was kind of his backstory where he grew up in Atlantis, but then he was raised by Thomas Curry.
Ow.
Fair enough.
Well, for my Aquaman, I just said like Aquaman could start down a path of like being born, being taken from his father by either the king of Atlantis or Mara due to some weird accidents or threats on his life, but then starts to grow up being indoctrinated to hate the surface world.
Is that Namor origin?
Who?
Namor from Marvel.
I don't know. Is it?
Kind of. Because Namor is born for a human. Okay, Namor is a mutant, technically the first mutant in Marvel Comics. People keep it.
One of the first
Yeah,
mutants.
But basically, his whole character arc is just building relationships with the surface world and a better future for all. And he could, down the line, help Superman also come to grips, or at least try to help him like care about the Earth more. If I heard the rumors of him being like a little more disconnected from humanity in this for this absolute Superman, I don't know how that's gonna go to pan out.
Yeah, that's not a really bad idea.
Excuse me.
For Batman, he has to be rich because otherwise, how he's going to afford all the gadgets he has?
Yeah, but make it have important.
I would probably not necessarily have his parents die when he was a child. I would change it where his parents died when he was probably like a teenager.
Yeah, maybe like 16.
I would change that. I would keep it Joe Chell as the murderer because that's part of his backstory. No matter what you change with the backstory, that has to be there. Joe Chell, you can make him younger or older, doesn't matter as long as it's Joe Chell. Habit where he only goes around the world for about 6 years per se, traveling different countries. Those mentors he has, make sure every card is one of them. Do not put Ra's al Ghul there because the Batman Begins implied. And then like comes back to Gotham. Year 1 happens. The way that Frank Miller told it, not basically what Scott Snyder did.
You mean Zero and Zero?
Yeah, Zero. Like, because I love Year 1. I love that story.
Same.
How about that happened? Like, the only changes I would make to it is one big change: do not make Catwoman a prostitute.
Yeah, let's try to avoid that if possible.
We should try to make it family friendly. Honestly,
Yeah, make it family.
kind of.
Like, habit where she is a poor girl who basically likes cats, but then of course then she becomes involved in activism with animal rights.
Oh,
That's the way you have her, and also involved basically having her come some finances, become a thief. As for who train her, who knows? I would definitely keep basically the person trainer in combat be Wildcat because Wildcat did train her in combat.
I'd say the Gotham live action series had a pretty good balance in terms of a modern take on everyone's origins, even though it was mostly
except for Joker, because Joker origin was just weird, confusing, made no sense.
That was due to exploiting a loophole with the bat embargo and a licensing dispute. So, other than Joker, everyone else had a pretty solid ensemble.
Not Bane. Even Chuck Dixon has admitted, basically, I heard his podcast, he hated the version of Gotham. They did a Bane. Oh my God, that was horrible. I've seen the image of it. It looks horrible.
Wait, hold on.
Wait. What was Bane origin in that show? The guy dropped that show after they put him into freeze. Like, it's stupid.
Apparently, he was an ex-military who apparently knew Jim Gordon. And if you look up basically what he looks like Darth Vader.
That's so stupid. Like, what the hell?
I'd actually forgotten about this.
I plugged up my memory. How bad
I actually did this meme on a Discord TV and I'm part of Awesome Universe where I had the 3 live action Banes. I had the Bane from Batman and Robin, Dark Knight Rises, and this one. And they all said, I am Bane. And my response for first two was like, yes, you are. And third one is, he says, I am Bane. And my response is, no, you're not. Jason Todd, shoot him.
That's funny.
Because Jason Todd did kill him in the Arkham Knight universe. In the Arkham Knight universe, he killed him. In the Arkham Knight comic.
In the game? The game
thing got let go. Apparently, the police did not know the fact he's dead.
Ow.
He got killed, and Jason Todd burned the body.
Ow.
Because of the 3 Banes, Gotham is terrible.
Yep.
I love the look they gave for the live action Bane from Bat Robin. And here's a little fun fact about that Bane I found from Chuck Dixon. Apparently he was an actual wrestler and he was a burglar. He apparently broke people's houses by ripping off doorknobs with his super strength. Like, he was no tools, and that's he broke people's houses. The guy was a thief. But he didn't steal anybody's stuff when he were in there.
Of course.
Yeah. So that's what, and I've also heard the guy who played him since passed away.
That's it.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on, Nathaniel.
Yeah, and Tom Hardy one. Yeah. Love the performance by him. I think he did a great job.
Same.
Was not a fan of the mask.
Yeah.
And also the fact they're implying that he was Ra's al Ghul's son.
No, you're trying to protect her.
Yeah. Now they did keep the fact that he was from Saint Prisca. The fact he was born in that prison. Now in the comics, they never say who his mom was. But definitely wasn't Talia.
Oh
no. Like I said, he was trying to protect her. That's all he was.
Yes, and according to Dixon, this is definitely true. The person going to bring Saint Prisca and the drug Venom, that was Danny O'Neill.
Yes.
Everything associated with Bane was all Chuck Dixon and Graham Nolan. That was all of them.
Yep.
And Chuck Dixon, if you listen to his Ask Chuck Dixon stuff, like, you find so much fascinating stuff about the guy. In fact, he loves westerns, like old school sci-fi stuff. It's really cool stuff. And the fact that some books he'll let go of because he did not agree with the editor's direction. Like, and apparently, the way he puts, I think the reason people want to hire him because he actually has the balls to say no to something he doesn't like.
Yep, I agree. I'm tempted to that one.
Like he was mentioning, like on one episode, I was listening to how he got to write. He worked on Freddy Krueger for Marvel. Then Steve Gerber came up with Freddy Krueger's backstory, which was adapted into Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Remember that famous scene?
Yeah.
Oh,
the nun and the insane people. That was Steve Gerber who originally wrote that in the comic, and apparently people hated it so much they canceled the comic. And then New Line had licensed the thing to Wildstorm because they had that Texas Massacre and Jason Voorhees. And get this, according to Chuck Dixon, the Freddy Krueger comics were the only ones that sold well, and it was the only one of the 3 that had no problem going through New Line.
Honestly, that's not a shock to me because Nightmare on Elm Street only find that survived. The other 2 find that is not so much.
They kind of fell off.
Every time they kept putting something new line, they kept projecting it a lot, and the books were delayed heavily.
Yep.
And the only book lasted 8 issues because Chuck Dixon was removed, not by New Line. New Line actually liked his work, and the fact it sold well. The editor, not the one who written the book, was a different editor. He removed from the book for a new writer,
Of course,
an incompetent writer, and every writer they submitted to New Line for this book kept rejecting. The book got canceled.
Why didn't New Line step in when Chuck Dixon had to go off the book? Why did he keep on the book?
I don't know.
There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes going on.
Because like some stuff basically like the reason why he left Moon Knight. He did Moon Knight for like 2 years, and he explained the reason why he left the book. Because he got a new editor for the book, who was a mainstream editor, who didn't like it very much. And he explained the reason why he left that book was because he had just submitted a script for one of the issues, and then it was returned to him because the editor wanted to be similar to the show Wise Guys that he just watched previous night.
That's stupid. What the hell?
And he said no, so he decided to politely leave the book. And they also talk about how he got to do Conan, how he got to do Punisher. Apparently, he loved doing Punisher more than Batman.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yes. The fact that his books actually did really well. And apparently, according to him, all Punisher comics, with the exception of Punisher War Zone #1, all sold the same amount per month, 60,000 units per month.
You know what's funny? Punisher got screwed over in the comics with Spidey, but Punisher he watched the book. Spidey is then screwed in the main action book. It's been so bad, it's become insane. Why did Punisher got good stuff? Okay, Punisher got screwed over in Cato, but Spidey even more screwed over.
Because if you look at basically Chuck Dixon's biography for Marvel, it's not as much as DC.
No.
It's because mainstream editors DC don't trust him. Marvel do not trust him because they don't think he's as good of a writer as DC does.
Agreed.
And here's what's interesting. The editor of Nightwing, the reason it was so good was because his editor wanted to write every issue like a Jackie Chan movie.
Yep.
You read the comic like, yeah, I can buy that. His run was good. No denying, his run was good with Nightwing.
His run was good. I agree.
You know, I actually was requested to do a video. What if Damian Wayne debuted during the Chuck Dixon's run? And I did
one fun.
And I actually asked Nick if he wanted to collaborate on this idea. And hey, you might get it in the future. If you guys want it, hey, let us know in the comments.
Yep.
But
yeah, if anybody's interested where I get this information from, just listen to the Ask Chuck Dixon podcast, and he'll spill anything that relates to comics. He would not reveal stuff of his personal life, though.
That makes sense. We put it out of it.
Like he talks a little bit of his personal life, but not a lot. Yes, I've heard about this. In fact, Peter Parker's on Green Goblin. I'm like, why?
We did it last year in 2023. What?
First hunt.
Sorry, I'm not trying.
I have no idea why. Oh yeah, the Ultimate Universe. I hear it's been going well, especially Black Panther and Ultimate Spider-Man.
That book is fantastic. This is crap.
Oh, one thing I appreciate with this book, Tivia. Take a look at the writing credits of that book. Take a look at the credits.
Tempo's writing this thing, which is bad.
Well, look who the artist is.
Oh yeah, Ed McGuinness.
I'm like, no more Revere Jr. We don't need him on the book. He was not needed to come back at all. Not needed.
That's the only thing I would cover. The book is so bad anyway. Even with a good artist, the story is horrible.
Because it seems like whenever he was on the book, the artwork was better. Like, I have nothing against Revere Jr. as an artist. Nothing against him. It's just that, in my honest opinion, the only book that his artwork fit was Batman.
Yeah, Batman makes sense.
And he did one story for Batman. Just one. He did the opening story, and that was it. I'm like, really? Nothing else?
Yep.
I find that weird.
Job. We have this book, Ultimate. Ultimate, one good Spider-Man book we have left. And my last. Everything else, not so much. Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I know about the Spectacular Spider-Man book.
Oh yeah, that book is good. Fired.
I
surprised they
can
pulled that
honestly, I cannot even describe the amount of disappointment and frustration the Zeb Wells Spider-Man run has spiraled into. It's one thing to bait your audience; it's another to go out of your way to piss people off.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It's almost like you read the book. It's like he wants to do Norman as Green Goblin again, but then he does this.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
What
that's
if
correct.
Zeb Wells did the X-Men?
Yeah, get Hellions. Spider-Man worst nightmare. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot she lost her son. Spider, her son got eaten up too. By Hydra. You gotta be kidding me. But
This is exactly. It's nonsense like this why I left Marvel Comic. This is exactly why. I saw the writing on the wall. Y'all didn't.
Hey, but I heard and seen a little bit of Black Panther and the
Now
X-Men.
I'm sure Ultimate is fantastic. I'm sure it is selling gangbusters. But after Secret Empire and after Civil War 2, I just cannot trust Marvel Comics again. I just can't.
You want to hear some of the bad stuff though?
Spider-Boy, I don't like it. It's stupid.
Go ahead, movie
They
theater king.
brought back evil Captain America,
Oh yeah, that did happen. He's right about that. I can try to find it.
and they want to try to make him like an X-Men villain in the future potentially.
Wait, are they trying to turn Stevel into U.S. agent?
No, not exactly. He Reaper Man Uncanny Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him. How the hell did he come out the light? You about to ask?
Now he's Flag Smasher.
Yeah, now he's Flag Smasher now. I shall be a Flag Smasher.
Excuse me.
Joy. Whoopee.
Excuse me, moment.
I can't put in any he's looking about killer suing under the order of anti-media order and order. So brought back to life. That vampire mutant.
Yeah, I was reading Immortal X-Men. Apparently, she became part of the Quiet Council before they disbanded.
Yeah, and then she
left
to join Orcus.
I was mentioning in my review that prior to that appearance, I remember her in the not the run that just wrapped up, not the current run, the 2 runs before the current run we have, the one done by the guy who did the long run of Black Panther, Ty Kotis. He had it where she became an old lady thanks to a device that I think it was Black Widow had. Took her like aging stuff and gave it to Sharon Carter, make her back her natural age instead of being the old lady look.
It was weird. Like,
well, that whole thing.
Why bring this guy back? Like, why? He's boring. He's a terrible villain. He was good to see the Empire, but the moment the story got so convoluted and confused with the ending.
Yeah, and here's a strange thing to have you. Last Comic I went to, some people thought this thing was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what happened, Jiggy? Why'd you leave?
Blazing rant coming.
Why the fuck would you bring this back? Not only did you do immense brand damage with this character, even to the point that you wanted Secret Empire buried for years.
Yep.
And out of anyone, this could have been a one-off. This could have been another in the wider Marvel multiverse. But you not only want to bring Stevel back, you want to bring him back as fucking Flag Smasher?
Yep.
I forgot who Flag Smasher was. Who was
Flag
that again?
Smasher was an old villain created by Mark Greenwell back in the 80s. And he's not dressed like this. Like, he had a goofy costume.
He's been dead for years.
Oh, the original one was killed by Deadpool.
That is true.
Makes sense.
This makes Cap Falcon and the Winter Soldier look tame in comparison.
Okay, here's the thing. Do you know who wrote this scene?
Gil Duggan wrote it.
Yes. This happened in the final issue of Candy Avengers.
Yep.
Which I like the reunion of the team. I like the lamb they have for the team. They had for the book. But man, this was a terrible idea. First he's revealed to be the new Captain Krakoa who basically attacked DC.
who's evil.
Let him finish.
Right.
And the fact that this guy had died during Ty Nako's run. They killed him and then burned his body, like we have with Bane, and he was gone. I think he was gone for what was it, about 4 years?
5 years.
5
5
years.
years.
5
He's
years.
gone. And then Duggan reveals he's revived. Now, I don't think this was Duggan's idea. I'm not blaming Gary Duggan for this. I'm blaming some editorial probably really was obsessed with this guy to bring it back, because like anybody who reads Secret Empire, it's like, okay, we have a resistance group. Do we see them doing anything this whole series? Nothing.
No.
And then at one point, Nick Spencer kills a Black Widow for no reason. And then, like, she's dead for, like, what, a month? And then she gets brought back as a clone.
Yep. Oh, yeah, to make matters worse, Peter Parker Spider-Man that jumped on shit in Secret Empire.
Yes, because for some reason he had to hide out in China the whole time.
Yeah, to fight Doc Ock.
Yeah, this is a dumb thing Marvel's been doing the last several years, where Peter Parker Spider-Man is absent from a critical important story. Like, it seems like after Secret Wars, it seems like Slott did not want to involve any major story.
Yeah, we didn't involve that terrible book. I hate this story. The story is so fucking crap. Like,
well, Slott basically, by the time Wrath of his run, he was running out of ideas.
He was running out of ideas.
Like,
Slott could barely even get a submission done on time. You're expecting him to even have remotely good ideas. I'm sorry, I'm pissed.
Same.
I am pissed.
I'm still fucking pissed with Peter and
the fact that Nick Spencer and Don Nicholas revived two characters that Dan Slott killed off during this run.
Electro.
And Flash Thompson.
Oh, yeah, Agent Venom.
Yeah, he got brought back in Venom. First, he was kind of like as a dragon, and then he kind of merged with his own body to get himself revived. Electro got back via very weird scientific method. It was during the Sinister War.
No, not that shit. Kindred brought back to life.
With the help of Dr. Octopus.
Yes.
Yeah, Kindred was a weird character, and you read Zeb Wells' run. It's like you read the book, and it seems like Zeb Wells had no idea what the heck happened in Nick Spencer's run.
What? To make my 10 words, we were just fucking close.
Okay, here's one example. One example of the fact that Zeb Wells did not understand Nick Spencer's run. The whole thing, one of the big things for his run is he brought back the Sin Eater, and then he removed Norman Osborn's sins. Made him a good guy. And you read Zeb Wells' run. You read it and you're like, did Zeb Wells, did he not read what Nick Spencer wrote?
Either that,
I mean, it's only part of this issue coming out. The first, it only been like what, 2 years since basically this happened, year or two, and it's like,
I'm gonna take a moment to calm down before I say something that'll get me demonetized. So,
do you think it's because editorial was bitter against Nick Spencer for leaving them for Substack?
Yes. And Tevia, go ahead, go nuts.
Those motherfuckers refused to give me one. We wanted to get made about, but they made you miss.
Tevia,
what the fuck?
Tevia,
I had Mayday, and the parliament. What the?
Tevia, try keeping the swearing, please.
Sorry. Not fair. I made it right there. The Piper Fisto. Why do we do the story? Why? Oh, I don't know why. We didn't tag them out, but on BS. Speaking of Benoit, he's coming back in okay, he came out in issue 47. It sucked.
And the fact he's back with his girlfriend again, who's Hollow's Eve.
I hate Holiday. Oh yeah, Morgan, she's dying in Blood Hunt. Who cares about Morbius?
Blood Hunt was, it seems, this is a weird idea of an event where it's involving vampires and Blade is barely involved in the story.
Yeah, I don't get it at all.
It's weird. Like, you think of it like Blood Hunt, Blade to be a primary character in the story. And he isn't.
Cover amazing. I love that cover.
I think that's Paco who does that cover.
Yep.
The same one who did Demon Wars.
Yes. Well, Peach.
Yeah, I think that's a very cover.
X-Men.
Yeah. Laura Kinley, the Wolverine. I actually like that title for a book.
Same.
Yeah, I kind of wish you get a solo book again because her being regressed back to being X-23 was a. And here's the thing, Chris Shows actually agree with me on this. Step backwards to character development.
He did?
Yeah, he agreed with me. Basically, when she back with X-23, okay, he loved Tom Taylor's work with her as the Wolverine. He loved that. But he also agreed with me that her being X-23 after the book wrapped up was stupid.
I agree 100% on that one because I was pissed about that. Because what? You motherfuckers. You took a look at my favorite kid, my favorite and threw away the X-23 again. Even though
technically, the older Laura, Duggan had her die in recent issues of X-Men.
Yeah, I read that. I'm like, wait, what? Wait.
Yeah, she was doing Snitch's mind, and then he just died because he had to let her go.
That still makes no sense. Wait. I'm confused. Wait. Let me see. We have real Laura.
Okay, this Laura here, Tevya, this is a duplicate. The old lady Laura that we saw prior to her death, that was the original Laura, her debut in NYX #3.
You gotta be kidding me. I hate clones. Oh, this is confusing.
Yeah, well, that's part of us. Oh, this is I heard about this. Jason Aaron doing Namor. Like, this was surprising to me because I was tweeting that, like, wait, isn't he over at DC?
No, his action counter story ended already.
Yeah, it's like, wow, that was quick. He also was doing a Batman book for him, too. And this is 8 issues.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah. First air book these had since Conquered Shores.
Oh, yeah. Now I remember. It's issue 54. What about report people are spree and mail instruction? Nothing. No one.
I'm like, what's the point of continuing this run if no one's going to care about this one? Because I think the readers are getting tired of this run. Where
I'm tired of it from issue 1. I want 3 things to happen. Paul goes away. He dies. I'll be happy. That's number 1. Problem number 2. Get rid of Till Jack my power and let me be the character all over again. Problem number 3.
I don't have a problem with Mary Jane having powers. It's just that not doing much with it. That's the problem.
It's so stupid.
Yeah. Are you surprised the fact they brought this book back? Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider? Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider as a series. Like, because last one got canceled with only 10 issues.
I'm not surprised, but at this point, why put in Sequence 6? Why? It's a bad idea. Wait. Always about to get lost where Project Spider-Man said about making everyone see the villain.
I'm hoping they have a writer that gets her back her actual power instead of using the Venom costume.
Here's my theory. Jack the main villain of this book. Fuck it. We need to make Jack the main villain, Spider-Gwen.
Well, technically, they already did a Clone Saga for a book. It's called Spider Clones.
It wasn't that good. It was so stupid. But the main villain was another Gwen Stacy. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, you good, Jahid?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I like the whole Spider-Woman title. I'm glad she's got a book back again. I think it's the same cover as she did the previous run.
Yeah, but here's the thing that pissed me off about this book. They aged out Jack's son.
Yeah, that was due to indirectly because of Slot.
I hate that.
Because in the Spider-Verse, people kind of forgot that
See you guys later.
See you, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
have a good one, Movie Theater King.
Yeah, because initially this was a miniseries for Gang War, and all of a sudden I saw issue 5, like 5. So this is ongoing? Cool. Because I believe that their last book should not have ended.
Yeah, I forget what happened to a book. I don't remember.
It was good. I loved the previous run. It was amazing. The only thing I didn't like about it was her bringing up Porcupine.
I forgot Spider-Lane 2. This is happening. Why? Why bring this book back? This book is horrible.
Yeah, who was asking for this book? And I don't think it's written by the same guy. I don't think it's the same guy who wrote the first miniseries, is it?
Actually, it is. It's the same writer and same writer who wrote the miniseries.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Carrie Andrews because this person also wrote. There's an Iron Fist Living Limp book. You remember that book?
Yeah, I
No,
remember.
I don't remember.
Yeah, they wrote and drew it where the original Thunder got killed off in the book. Off panel, and they found his body. He got beheaded.
Of course.
Also, apparently, Kunlun was destroyed again, and then he got destroyed again during Ed Bronson's one, and then it's back. It's like Marvel does not know what to do with Iron Fist because when that last Iron Fist book ended,
Iron Fist again and for himself.
yeah, when the last Iron Fist book ended, it just ended. There was no announcement. Ended. It just stopped after issue 80 as a tie into dissemination.
Well, that's stupid and wasting my time. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, and also I didn't really notice this very much. Apparently, Dan Aaron's got a sister.
That's interesting.
And also, a lot of time he's written where he misses Misty Knight.
Oh, that's cool. Thank God we have Ultimate, the one book I have that's good to keep my sanity in check. Because if I had to suffer to read more of this crap, I would go insane.
And here's the thing, Tivia. Guess who Misty Knight is currently dating?
Oh.
Sam Wilson.
Yeah, he got the Falcon. Falcon, punch!
Yeah, this is something the recommender set up.
Yep.
But we've been all over the place tonight.
Yeah, we got one.
Yeah, we have.
But as much as I want to reach the 3 hours later title card, I feel like it's about time we had got into final thoughts. I'll let Nick go first, then Tevia, and then myself.
On the modern comics?
Everything we've talked about tonight.
Yes.
I guess Tevia, if you want to go first.
Okay. My final thought on Tom King 101 book. At this point, I'm done talking 101. Like, this is stupid. This is a way to make time. I'm out. I can't do anymore. I'm gonna ban ship. See my ban like I think I was running Batman right now. Yeah, to Batman right now. I banned shit that book one time. I'm good. Phil said Jack way too damn long, so I'm not reading that book anymore. So talking 101, I'm out. I'm done with that book. When that book ends, it'll be a major killing. I mean, a good 101 whatever. Into one get a good whatever into that creator. Because for me, this book is going nowhere. But as for Everything Marvel, like I said before, the one book I'm reading now is Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Black Panther, and I'm looking for the Ultimate because I'm at the before that book because that's been fun. But everything for Marvel, not so much. I'm not reading I refuse. I'm doing the banks.
Do you like Doctor Strange, Adventures in Moon Knight?
I didn't really read that book. I know that was the thing.
Yeah, Adventures in Moon Knight, done by Jem McKay.
Yeah.
It's really good. Though I had told you it was revealed in the most recent issue who the new Moon Knight is, and it's like, what?
Yeah, I read that. I read the issue. I was like, who? Who's this guy? I know who this guy is.
Okay. Jay, do you mind if I spoil a recent issue of Adventures in Moon Knight?
Go ahead.
Okay, it's revealed that the new Moon Knight is I think what was his name? It was the guy with a tattoo in his face. Shade?
Here's the new Moon Knight.
Yeah. Tibby, do you have the images from I think it's Benjamin number 6?
Yeah, I think I can find it.
Yeah, he's an old character who debuted back in the 70s in Superman Team Up number 5. He was recent. Last time I saw him was in Mark Waid's Daredevil.
Found it. Yeah, the guy with the spider tattoo. I'll screenshot it.
Yeah, they revealed in the first issue there's a new Moon Knight because Mark Spector's dead. No, they never found his body. Then we have this brand new Moon Knight.
Yep, this guy.
The Shroud. That's his name, the Shroud. He's an old character. He's been around since 1970s. Like I mentioned, 17 number 5 was his debut. He's found sporadic. He's most associated with Night Watch. But it seems strange that Jed McKay had this guy be new Moon Knight. Like, of all people, why him? Why a guy who's also
I
a
never heard this
stalker?
guy before. You got this guy here, like, who? I didn't know this guy is. I just said, like, that's what
Okay.
like, who?
One of the things about him that makes him crazy, he's obsessed with Julia Carpenter.
Spiderwood?
Yeah.
Or
He's
does
her
it matter
stalker.
what?
He's been stalking her for years, and she knows it. She knows that he's obsessed with her.
Hey, Madam Web thinks that's okay? That's disgusting. What the
Oh,
hell?
she hates the fact that he's obsessed with her.
Ow. And why didn't then she punch him in the face so everyone go away?
He was put in jail, then now he's out, apparently, because I've not, prior to this revelation, I had not seen him since Mark Waid's Daredevil wrapped up in, oh my gosh, I think that was like in 2015, I think it was, it wrapped up.
A decade at this point.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was the last time he was seen. Let me
Of
look up
course.
see who exactly who created him, because he's an old character.
yeah, I have 5 million to bring this guy back. That guy, I didn't know this guy was, so honestly, he did new to me. Who knows? That would try to figure this guy out, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's just like, it is so strange the fact that they have him as the Moon Knight. Because
Yeah.
it is something, the fact that this happened.
Deep cut. Not gonna lie, deep
I
cut.
wouldn't cut.
But anything else you want to add to Tevia before we move on?
Yeah. I put my final bond on the for Marvel. Like I said, I'm talking, Omen Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, and then that's about it. X-Men, I drop an X-Men because this story, there's no fallbacks that really not getting to me. I'm done with fallbacks because it gets so confusing, so complicated, made no sense. So I'm just waiting to the course at the end finally. Will I go at the X-Men train? I'm still watching X-Men. I said one show I love. That's good. That's one show I'm watching right now. That's great. It's a Marvel. As for DC, yeah, number going out. Giant Grey with amazing. That's in the over. That's in the review. I will read the trade eventually.
So I looked up basically who created the Shroud. It is Steve Englehart and Herb Trample. That's who created him. Steve Englehart also created Star-Lord.
And Howard the Duck.
No, Steve Gerber created Howard the Duck.
Oh, never mind.
Steve Englehart also created Rupert Thorne.
Oh yeah, that guy from Batman Anime series. I know him.
Dr. Faustus.
Yep, I know him.
He created Mantis.
Oh yeah, Marvel Mantis.
Yep. Who he brought over DC with him for a one-shot issue as Willow.
Well, that's confusing. Ain't that the same character? But yeah, whatever.
Yeah, they call her Willow. It's literally the same character, but they call her Willow in order to avoid a copyright issue.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, but anyway, now I got 5 bucks. My 5 bucks going. I have DC. I'm reading Superman Action Comic Mansion, which is great. Flash, it's a true confusing right now because I can't do comic book and Flash. The J.J. Flash book, perfection. The book's amazing. I recommend you read that book. It's really fantastic. I wrote my down back in Flash. I want to back in Flash, damn it. I love that book. Save the Suns, I love that book, even though I am sad at the end of the 6 issues. Why? Why do I keep reading my favorite team from nonsense not fail? But other than that, I think that's all I got for DC right now. Now, what was Absolute Power? I'm only going to read the main story. I'm not reading the tie-ins. Tell me out. I love my lesson the hard way last time in Dark Crisis. I'm not reading any events. Blood Hunt, forget Blood Hunt. I'm done with it right now. I can't do anymore. I'm out. So I'm going to skip Blood Hunt. And after Absolute Power, I will cover the main story, but that's it.
I'm going to be hopefully catch up with the comics that came up last couple because I'm a little behind.
Okay, so that's...
Oh, he also created another character we're familiar with. He created Shang-Chi, Steve Englehart.
That makes sense.
Yep. But I wonder how he felt about the live-action version of the character.
Maybe the movie was good. So
Yeah, the movie was good. It's one of the movies of Phase 4. It was actually pretty good.
So was Spidey fantastic.
Yes. I didn't see Eternals. I did not see also Ant-Man and the Lost Quantumania. I did not see those two.
Also, Quantumania, I'm gonna like the movie, even though I will admit that Good of Kang pissed me off. Like, what? You built
There's
Kang
like
all
a half movies I've not seen that came out recently from Marvel. I've not seen the Eternals, Doctor Strange Multiverse Madness,
I do like that movie.
Ant-Man and the Lost Quantumania, and I've not seen the Marvels.
Well, Jay, he saw it. I saw it too.
I've not seen the Marvels. I heard the Marvels not that good.
It's not bad. It's fun. Secret Invader is crap. It's a boy Secret Invader. You don't even watch that show.
I've heard the Marvels pretty much ignore it.
Well, what content? Because it's the score we have on planet. So wait, that was Secret Invader completely pointless. What so?
Or the fact that Nick Fury's got a Skrull wife, and the fact that Maria Hill apparently got killed off in the series.
Man, that was a stupid idea. Like, it was shocking at first, but the more thing about what? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, here's also a weird thing that you might find interesting. Apparently, for some strange reason, this week, McDonald's started releasing toys for the next Captain America movie that's come out next year.
In 2020. Well, remember, this movie was going to come out this year, but got delayed to 2025.
Writer's strike.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, and this follows up from the Falcon Winter Soldier series.
Kind
The
of.
next major Marvel movie is going to be Deadpool Wolverine. This is going to be interesting.
I'm looking forward to that movie. That's the one we have a Marvel coming out. Thank God. Because they're taking a massive break right now.
It's weird, though, that that's the only one come out this year from Marvel. Deadpool Wolverine. Nothing else is.
I'm fine with it because they took a massive hit last year. They need to take a massive break in order to people back.
I'm looking at this right now. Like, when was the last time they released only one movie in 1 year? Let's see. I'm looking at right now.
What?
I think I'm looking around. I think the last officially this happened was with the first Avengers movie.
Yeah, in 2012.
Yeah, that was the last time this happened. Where only one movie was released.
If you ignore Sony made Spider-Man nonsense, that didn't count.
Yeah, for MCU, last time was 2012.
Yes.
But as for what's going on, my final thoughts, the Boruto chapter is interesting, though it has a WTF, and the pacing of this chapter was really weird, to say the least. As for Marvel Comics, Marvel and DC and other comics, I'm like a couple weeks behind. I will probably catch them really soon. I will have videos coming tomorrow for some anime and some comic corners. And that's probably it for me for tomorrow.
Yep. Oh yeah. The one more thing I do want to talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow is the Deadpool trailer. I will do a reaction to that trailer if I can eventually cover clean nonsense. Also today I did my review at the Civil War movie. Just had a movie report that I get, but on that movie I reviewed with my birthday. So happy birthday to my brother. So tomorrow my brother's birthday. So happy birthday, Albie. My brother. But other than that, oh yeah, yesterday I reached my family the movie. Good movie, and it was kind of fun. But other than that, I think that's all I got from this week. After Monday, I'll be reacting to Deadpool, and I mean that's all I got.
I appreciate you for stepping in and adding more feedback, Tevia. As for me, this chapter was very poorly paced. Some things could have been restructured. I will be the first to admit that. But there were some highlights here, there were some highlights to be had. There was some fun here. As for DC, we're kind of in a quagmire right now with absolute power. Wonder Woman, Tom King's Wonder Woman has pretty much fallen off in my mind. I technically fell off after issue 6, but it's definitely off the rails now. And Marvel, I almost lost it tonight. I ain't gonna lie. I almost lost it tonight. Kept it together because I did not expect Steve-O to come back. I'm like, what the hell?
That was last year that happened.
Same.
Topic for a different stream. But we will. I hate Movie Theater King didn't get a chance to listen to this, but we will do a follow-up once we get closer to Absolute Power's release. And what does that mean? How does this lead for the DC Ultimate Universe rumors? So we'll probably have something set up around then by the time mid to late July. Yep. And anything else you guys want to add before we wrap up?
Movie Theater King put this out. Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah, that's true. I agree.
Appreciate the banter, Movie Theater King. But with that being said, anything you guys want to promote or have upcoming on the channel?
Nick, should you go first?
I have some videos coming tomorrow, and I'm gonna go see. Because it's my day out tomorrow from work. I'm gonna go see Spy X Family Code White.
Yep.
Nice. Tevia, anything you want to say?
Yeah. As for me in general, I viewed Spy X Family Code White yesterday. That movie amazing. It didn't do one video for on my channel, but you know what? I suspect that but they won't be no get in my area, which is sad. I viewed that movie actually yesterday. It was great movie. I got the thing with adorable. She's so cute. I love that picture. The meeting. Today I viewed Civil War, the outgoing movie. Yes, another movie. It polarizing for some viewers that I get, but honestly, I actually thought the movie was fine where it was. It wasn't perfect for some flaws. But as for tomorrow, I will be doing reaction to Deadpool and Wolverine trailer 2, even though I don't already know I should be reacting to that. I will also be reviewing Lois and Clark. Yes, I know I should be doing this review. I know I've been busy. I've been sidetracked. I know. And I will review this book. I do look at John's Lieutenant Boy. I will know where that go. I will review my favorite character. But I
Timmy,
think
be sure to watch my video just before you start doing that. Before you start reviewing that one, hear my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I will check it out. AHB. I will check a review out. Thank you, Nick. I've been on my channel. Let's see. Yeah. I'll also be X-Men 97. I love that show. That show made one of the best things coming. X-Men had a meeting. I will also be over Spider-Man. I think Open Spider-Man this week. I don't remember. I'll probably look it up. But other than that, I think that's about it. Oh yeah, Jay. One video collaboration of Suicide Squad. But Judgment comic. I completely forgot. We should do a comment about that. I completely forgot about that.
We'll definitely set something up in the future, Taladia. But as for me,
you said Tevia.
Tevia, my mistake. But before you slipped my part. But as for me, excuse me. As for me, I'll have the What If Scion wasn't the Decamu. I already have that. I'm already recording that. I should have that uploaded by this time tomorrow. Also, stay tuned for also some other projects I had to put on the ether, a couple, such as more New Direction verse content, a couple tie-ins from God Killer 2, and a Damian Wayne retrospective, which I was recently fan requested to make. And who knows, you might get Shelf Title 3, Adam Glass Teen Titans, before the end of the month.
Ooh, can't wait for that.
And the Immortal Thor.
Nice.
There's one thing I didn't like about this book. The artist drew Loki like a woman.
That's funny.
You want proof of this?
Yep.
I can show it here. We got a close up of this. I don't know if you can see it there.
What the? That's funny.
Yes. You look at this like, that looks like a woman.
Yeah,
This is supposed to be male Loki. He is the second character I've seen recently. Artists think it's a good idea to make him feminine. First it's Star Fox, now it's Loki.
To be fair, in mythology, Loki was a shapeshifter in mythology.
Yep,
I mean,
that's true.
But this book is supposed to be male Loki.
That's true.
Yeah, and also this follows like this gigantic thing called like this black, like plus you gotta love the Alex Ross artwork.
I love Alex artwork. It's amazing.
Yeah, the main villain this opening story because they restore Bifrost Bridge. Oh, and the annual first thing to do, the Fix Mjolnir. Because remember toward the end of Donnie Coulter, they smashed it, and now it's back.
Yeah, it got destroyed.
Yeah, and here's your villain for the opening issues. It's let me see it here. This guy here, he is Tornos, the Utgard Thor.
Oh.
And it's also Utgard Loki.
So he basically forged metal from the hammer for evil?
Yeah, kind of. I also review this from Karen Gillian.
Oh yeah, Mortal X-Men. that one been so confusing. I had to broke my brain.
Yeah,
Like,
where Gillian writes Colossus to not trust Storm. He also wrote a line where apparently that he said this about Kitty Pryde, that she survives more time in Frost than with him.
of course.
Topic for a different stream, gentlemen. But with that being said, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us on this extended video. Flame off.